everyone! Welcome to our latest hero revamp, featuring Granger, the Death Chanter. After his revamp, Granger now has a more aggressive playstyle and can excel as both jungler and gold layer. Granger's weapons now consume a resource called demonic energy to unleash a barrage of pain on his unfortunate targets. Death Chanter Granger. Passive skill, Capriccio. Granger's passive has been reworked. Skills that uses Demon Hunter weapons now consume demonic energy, a resource that regenerates over time. When Granger kills minions or creeps or participates in hero takedowns, the demonic energy cap of his weapons will permanently increase, and he will also recover a small portion of energy. All cooldown reduction obtained by Granger is converted into physical attack. First skill, Rhapsody. Granger's first skill has been adjusted for a more sustained playstyle. The cooldown has been shortened significantly, and it can be cast as long as there's enough energy in his handgun. When Granger casts his first skill, he fires his handgun continuously in the target direction, dealing physical damage while consuming the handgun's energy. The final bullet of this attack will always crit. This skill deals bonus damage to creeps and minions, and Granger gains movement speed while shooting. Second skill, Rondo. Granger's dash remains mostly unchanged, but now grants demonic energy. When Granger uses his second skill, he dashes in the target direction and instantly replenishes a portion of his handgun's energy. Each time Granger hits an enemy with his first skill, it will reduce a portion of this skill's cooldown. Ultimate, Death Sonata. Granger's revamped ultimate now has an extremely short cooldown, but each shot will consume energy from his cannon. Granger's ultimate fires a large projectile in the target direction, dealing damage to enemy minions it passes through, and explodes upon hitting the first enemy hero, dealing AoE physical damage and briefly slowing targets. Granger can dash once in the target direction after each shot. The ultimate can also be used during his first skill. In the laning phase, use Granger's first skill to poke the enemy. When his energy gets low, use his second skill to replenish it and continue to poke with his first skill. In teamfights, use Granger's ultimate to poke from a safe distance and continue the attack with his first skill. When the first skill ends, use his ultimate again for more damage and to reposition. If enemies get close, use his second skill to create distance and continue dealing damage with his first skill. Granger possesses good mobility and sustained damage, but his damage output is dependent on his demonic energy, and he gets stronger as his energy cap increases. Upgrade Granger's first skill at level 1 and continue to prioritize upgrading it as the main source of his damage. Granger can use his second skill during his first skill to adjust his position and ensure the first skill lines up with the target. When Granger's first skill can no longer hit the enemy, tap the skill again or the ultimate to end the first skill and conserve demonic energy. Granger can permanently increase his demonic energy by killing minions and creeps. The more you kill, the more you can use his skills. We recommend the Assassin emblem for Granger with the Rupture, Festival of Blood, and Lethal Ignition talents. Granger's first skill deals enough damage to quickly trigger Lethal Ignition's Scorch effect, and because Granger is a skill damage hero, Festival of Blood will greatly enhance his sustainability. Blade of Despair is Granger's core equipment. It provides very high physical attack to boost Granger's skill damage. Build Hunter Strike in the early game for the physical attack and movement speed effect, and get Malefic Roar in the late game to deal with high physical defense targets. We recommend the Retribution battle spell for Granger. Granger's first skill deals bonus damage to creeps, making him an effective jungler. Granger can also take Flicker for the gold lane since he also deals bonus damage to minions. When laning, Flicker will help him escape enemy ganks. Granger counters squishy heroes who lack mobility, such as Chang'e and Cecilion, who have a hard time dodging his first skill and are vulnerable to the high damage of his ultimate. Granger is countered by heroes with strong single-target killing power. Despite having good mobility, Granger lacks other defensive measures. Heroes like Saber and Hayabusa can quickly get the jump on Granger and finish him off. Granger pairs well with heroes that have strong CC abilities, such as Franco and Kaja, who can hold enemies in place for Granger's entire first skill. Granger should focus on jungling in the early game to gain an economic advantage. As a marksman, Granger's skills have a higher damage bonus to kill creeps faster. By getting equipment ahead of the enemy, he can snowball the advantage and stay a strong threat throughout the match. In the mid to late game, Granger will have more demonic energy thanks to his passive, allowing for more uses of his ultimate and first skill. But it's important to continue farming creeps and minions to keep raising Granger's demonic energy to boost his combat prowess. Granger the Death Chanter revamp arriving November 6th. And until next time, we'll be seeing you in the Land of Dawn.
Do I really have what it takes? Let's burn. As bright as we can, Dexter. Till the very end.
Our determination will never be extinguished! Our cosmic blaze will never be extinguished! Cosmic flare! Time to shine, Dexter! Burn in the moment! Everyone has their own competitive dream! Burn with passion and always dare to shine!
Hello, everyone! Welcome to our latest hero revamp, featuring Granger, the Death Chanter. After his revamp, Granger now has a more aggressive playstyle and can excel as both jungler and gold laner. Granger's weapons now consume a resource called demonic energy.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. You guys are tuned in at the MIC Season 1. Look at that. The first match of the day is already running up. We have
Among
the
the
big
planes
boss
exists the
right now. Look
equilibrium,
at that. And also
which
to
I
remind
was
you guys
made
that
for.
do like and subscribe and bring in your friends because right now Team LCF are going to be playing against Team uh, it will be team, I believe it is Impunity of India. Yes, I'm right about that. And with that, it is going to be the best of three format because we are already towards that top eight teams for the glory who will be taking down that crown of the MIC season one. With that, I'm your caster, Peachy, and along with me, I have Miko. Hello, Miko. How are you?
Hello, BG. Thank you so much for the introduction. And well, this seems to be an interesting match, and we already see one of the signature bans coming in,
Your
and
team
Eve
is
has been
banning.
banned. So that is looking bad for LCF because I think LCF has been focusing on the Eve picks a lot, like
Yep.
the hitbox and the control. There's a lot of debuffs coming in from her.
That's true. That's true. The RWM really gives up a lot of zoning potential as well when you're in a team fight because you don't want to be into that the hitbox. So yep, it is true. It is good that Team Impunity India, who are onto the blue side right now, have banned up the maybe they are going for another assassin or maybe a tank because we do know that Team LCF really like to play around that Gatotkacha high lows onto that EXP lane. What are your thoughts on that? Maybe we'll see those kind of bans, Sumiko.
Yes,
I am
and
not the
oh,
only
it's a
one
Phobius
Your
bound
ban.
by
team
these
is
I just feel like
chains.
Hilda and Matilda should also be prioritized as per the ban
Butterflies born
Your
by
because I'm
team
not
lightning,
is
sure why,
banning.
but
guided
Team
by
LCF decided
lantern's
to skip
light.
one of their bans. Was
Yep.
that connection issue or like they are planning something? Because sometimes they are just like, "Hey, we'll just keep 3 or 4 heroes open. So whichever hero you take, we are gonna get two in the trade-off."
Yep, that is true. Even in rank matches, I have encountered this. Like, few of the teams
Fight!
don't ban
Fight for the
anything.
ultimate
Making
answer.
sure to open up a lot of possibilities. Maybe opening up those comfort heroes who are into the meta right now. Maybe those kind of plays that team LCF are going for. But let's just see the Hilda, the Phobius for now into the ban section. Hilda, understandable that the buff that she received in this is this patch is putting her into the spotlight, and I'm really happy to see these kind of heroes coming back again into the meta.
Oh, completely. She can be so annoying, especially for the jungler because she is
Always
a
on the way.
constant invade. And as
Your
I said,
team is
PG,
picking.
like Hilda and Matilda were some of my prospective bans, but
Who
let's
said there are
start.
no
Chip
shortcuts
has
in
been
life?
Your
I
opened,
team
literally
is
and
picking.
invented one.
well, we have the Vivok in the game.
Yep, you're right about that. Look at that chip being open. Looks like Team Impunity India will be picking those hero up. Now, there's a possibility that Team LCF could go for a Carmilla to counter that chip. But again, a Carmilla won't be prioritized here as, yep. There we go. I was about to come here. The Gatot Kacha will be coming into the play onto the EXP lane. Maybe high loss could be an addition, but against a chip, I'm not quite
Team is
sure. They
picking.
go ahead with a Sicilian. Now, Miko, we know that the Sicilian is did receive some buff as well. That item adjustment really gave up that indirect buff to him. Now, how do you think that it will go for him?
I just feel like this is really good because Cillian, if he's not using the Vibe Walk portal, like he can just maintain his distance and he has so many people there gathered completely for a good Sanguine Claws and the bad impact. But look at that. We have Fanny and we usually expect the Fanny to be banned because Lom Lom is there on the side of Team
Sound
LCF.
rises when I give the
But
Yep.
word.
not only was she not banned, but they did not even get the chance to pick her. And Fanny has fallen to the hands of Team Impunity. Now, this is going to be really exciting because, when you are facing your own main hero, like, I just feel
Yeah.
so excited when my enemy actually picks up Layla or something like, okay, this is going to be so hard because I just love that hero so much and I have to actually counter my own hero, but look at that. Carmela is here, guys. So she is going to be a good counter to Chip, and she has also been reunited with Sicilian. This should be some fun show.
That's true. That's true. Because the couples coming into the play, they do unlock a extra skill to themselves where it will be proven useful. I'm hoping to see Peter using that skill. And with that, we are back again into the band section where this, four of the heroes yet to be banned. One already put it on to the band section. Look at that. Valentina going there into the band section. Maybe we will be seeing some Bruno or maybe a Beatrix ban as well, because I do believe that the marksmen should be prioritized here from the both side onto the ban section.
Yes, I actually agree with you, and both the sides have yet to reveal the marksman. And I feel like Bruno, okay, Van Van, and yes, there are a lot of heroes who have received a good buff, as well as, indirect buffs from the Malefic gun and the itemization. But just imagine, like Valentina was so important because if Chip was coming in with his wife walk and Valentina copying the curse of blood, like that could be so detrimental, especially coupled up with the raging sandstorm by Kali. So I feel like that was also a very wise decision to get rid of Valentina. And Alpha also goes down. So
Come on,
that
Dexter. It's our showtime.
Claude. I think the teams are kind of hearing what we are saying. Don't you think so?
Yeah, they are hearing us, look at that. As expected that these are the heroes getting prioritized right now. As we know that Lom Lom is a really big fan of a Fanny. He has been playing up very, very well, and whenever he's playing, he's gonna win that match. Now this time it is in the hands of Team Impunity India. What are his options against a Fanny? Will they be going in for a Fredrin jungle maybe?
I just feel like they are lacking the counters to Fanny right now. And if
Mm-hmm.
maybe one can play Fanny really
Time to
well,
take the
like after
field.
her buff and the regen of the energy, like if they cannot get her down, like if she can just snowball in the early game, this is gonna be really hard because I just feel like they do not have the hard CC to counter Fanny yet in this draft.
That's true. That's true. They need something like a Hoofra or maybe a. But again, the Hoofra is not viable here. If they pick another tank, there's going to be a disbalance there. But they could go in for a Minsitar as their marksman. But again, it's already out of that meta. They would really prefer a Beatrix
I
or
feel
a
maybe a
Minsitar.
Brody.
Oh, yep, works.
Let's see, like his corrosion strike and torn apart memory are also doing pretty good right now.
Yep.
But at the same time, okay, as you expected, Beatrix is in the house. I feel like Beatrix is really doing good, but like, she's not exactly a counter to Fanny, so this is more of a comfort pick. Like, it's a
Mm-hmm.
meta comfort pick and rather than a counter. But yeah, the
True.
Malefic gun is gonna shine completely on her.
That's true. That's true. On top of that, Beatrix really needs like one core item. Maybe the BOD could work very well with the Beatrix, and boom, she could go ahead with the Wind of Nature. She could really,
It
give
is in
herself like a
despair
second
that
chance
I see
to
the
make
fondest hopes.
be into the fight against Tiffany. So that could be those plays that they are going ahead with the Team
To
Impunity
live
India. Look
is
at
to
them
trick.
going
No one
strong
chose me to
with
vanquish the
the
shadows that plague
Nathan
this world.
along with a Faramis. Now, Team Impunity India are playing around that re-engage. I'm surprised to see that.
I'm just like, this is a very interesting lineup because the Nether Realm is gonna follow up onto my walk. So like
Mm-hmm.
suddenly Chip is like Avengers assemble and then you have a huge tsunami or sand onto them with the Nether Realm like undiable. But at the same time, I just don't like, Paramis with Fanny or like Estes with Fanny and Ling because you have to be in the zone to get the buff from their ultimate. Like even Estes or like Aramis, like if they are like not close to you, you will not be receiving the buffs or the heals or the immortalities, etc. So you
Yep.
just have to be a little safer. But with Chip in the
Welcome to
house,
MOBA
I feel like
Legends!
like Khalid is gonna be a lot more benefited
5
by
seconds till
this,
the enemy
and
reaches the
we
battlefield.
entered the match
Smash
into
them!
a pause. Okay.
We are not into like 5 seconds into the round of done, and we already have a pause. I believe there's some technical issues, maybe on our end or maybe onto the team's end, but we will be resuming very, very soon. And there we go. The match is already starting up, Miko.
Yeah. So let's see what kind of rotation are we gonna see. Fanny had the
Legends
blue buff.
win!
Okay.
Uh huh.
Now
Yep.
Fanny's getting a lot of love. Like just look at that. Everyone is trying to help. Okay, no, not everyone is trying to help her. She's not receiving that much of love as much as CEO is receiving. But okay,
That's true.
understandable. But I just feel like CEO should have started off with a red buff as well to like, help out Beatrix in the early.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. They need that support. Beatrix does need that support. Same goes for the Fanny as well. We know that the Fanny is going to go into the marksman lane as soon as he hits level 4. Now, the game is gonna get interesting, guys, because it's a best of 3 series where both teams will be going to battle it out for that position into the next match. And look at that, the exchange of blows are already
First
in.
blood!
Oh, now that is a good first blood coming. Oh, the steel cable's looking strong, and Fanny is keeping 1 HP.
Okay. Okay, there we go. Both of them are doing a very well job. Looks like Team Impunity India will be the one picking up the first blood right before the turtle. Now, oh, for Amis though, he's quite aggressive in front of a Sicilian. He knows that the Sicilian won't be doing much when he uses up a sanguine claws unless he gets caught. But wait a minute, look at the Suyu there, trying to battle it out against a Khalid, and he won't be successful for now, but it will be the Fanny just roaming around the map.
I just feel like Beatrix is doing a good job, like staying safe and taking up the last touch. While look at Fanny, oh, the steel cable's looking strong. Like she's even on to Gato Kacha and like melting him down to half HP.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them are like very snowball type of heroes. So like if Fanny gets kills and Theo gets dead at the early, this is gonna create a lot of disbalance. Although they do have Sicilian as the late game reassurance, but ooh, the turtle
That's
fight is looking
true.
good.
Oh, the kid in a very bad position will be taken down along with that. Suyu goes in, tries to deal some damage, unable to do so. Fanny would be the one taken down. The Fanny loses up so much energy in that process. There shift is into the middle lane right now. There is this colleague still dealing so much damage, and he will be using up his quicksand. He's still surviving. Maybe he will survive that, and yup, he did survive. But the Fanny coming up for the re-engage doesn't have the cutthroat. Oh, does have the cutthroat. Wasn't able to pop it out on time. Now they go ahead with the turtle.
It was a little late. Oh, Rybok is here. That was such a
Yeah.
good.
Oh,
Okay, look at that. What is going on?
okay, look at that. Will be Khalid yet again getting poked down and hunted. It will be the Sicilian Peter getting up the kill. They're going ahead trying to take down the turtle as well because of blood does not connect there. It is a waste of resource there, but look at that. They are still zoning out the turtle for Suyu to take it. Lomomai will he be succeeding? And no, it will be the Van taking up the turtle. Okay, Team LCF did a very good job in zoning out, but they did not zone out the Fanny.
I just saw Fanny doing some really good jobs and a bit of like silly moves as well. Like she had a cutthroat, but she did not use it, and that was such a good move, unbreakable, coming in by Gato. Like whenever you have some dash skill and you just walk through the wall, so Fanny cannot chase you. Oh, look at that moonlit walls, and Carmen was saved by Sicilian.
Yeah, the moonlight waltz does come in handy. This is what I was talking about. Along with that, Chip is already there into the enemy position. He does have a shortcut. He could call up his teammates any single moment whenever he wants to. Now it is up to Team LCF to zone them out and just try to push them away. But Carmela has to go for back to the base. She has to get some HP along with that, some mana. Now, there's a lot of resources onto the side of Team Impunity India already.
Yes, I just feel like they are doing a lot of annoyance to Beatrix. Look at that. Oh, the Netherlands has been popped out. The curse of blood has been used and rated to Beatrix, and Beatrix has been taken down.
Okay, look at that. Two cinemas in every into the middle lane as well as the top bot lane as well. It will be the entropy being used up by the Nathan trying to deal some damage now. They don't have a nether realm. They don't have a cutthroat. Fanny has to go back trying to get some HP. Oh, she gets some energy. She comes back into the team fight. The bot lane to you. Get some damage from the Fanny. Oh, and the taunt coming in will be the one taking down the Fanny. Now again, the turtle will be up in few seconds. Maybe Team LCF will be the one taking them down to you. Marking down that. Was it necessary though? Looks like they are still going in for more. Both the teams dishing out so much damage to each other. But who is the one winning up this fight? Because I feel like Team LC is doing so much damage. It will be who is Peter taken down into the hands of Nathan. Not a good choice because you're taking up so much resources into the hands of Nathan. But they go in for more. It looks like it will be a 2-for-1. And this shift is onto the middle lane right now. From the bottom lane to the middle lane. The Khalid still taking up damage. Because of blood already there, but no Khalid with damage going to take down Carmela there.
I just felt like Carmela and CO were really low and they should have just recalled, but they were staying there camping for someone. And Khalid did come, and Khalid so low they could have actually killed him, but Nathan came in just at the nick of time and the reverse clone. The damage coming in from Nathan, and he is already like a lot of farm ahead. Like, look at that, with at least more than 500,000 farms at 6.5 minutes.
That's true. Whoa, Superman, he does have his speed tables right now. He's waiting it out, but he's low in energy though. Will it be a good choice for jumping in? Now, both the EXP laners are coming in right from the top lane. Oh, bot lane, look at that. AOG does connect onto the and the Nathan using up entropy, still dealing so much damage, and a close call, and it will be the Gatot cards are going down. 1v1 a Nathan. Now, look at Nathan's item as well. He is farming up quite well. Now coming back to the mid lane already, the river area. Look at that. Eto being taken down, hunted yet again. It will be Error taking up the kill. Along with that, she's trying to make sure that he's clearing up the minions with looking quite low. And the shortcut already there. Ain't no way. It will be the Peter. Along with that, Bakima taking down Error. Now the mid lane fight is going on so intense. Look at them. Both the teams still fighting it out. It was a 1v4-2 trade. Not a good trade for Team LCF right now.
I just feel like they really need to mark on to Nathan right now because, again, I just really don't like the Thunderbolt as the first item if you're gonna engage so much. Or else, like, you have to be a little bit safer because Gatak does not have any amount of defense. And he jumped on to Nathan to give him more food. Oh, look at that damage coming in from Bennett's Rage.
Oh, he is going to be quite annoying, but looks like, Team LCF, they have moved ahead trying to make sure to take down the most important turret so far in the Land of Dawn, the middle lane. Now, Ito cannot do anything in front of 4 people. He needs some backup here on the Pyramis. And unfortunately, the middle lane will be taken down from the side of Team Impunity India. And Suyu, that 1v1 Fanny versus Suyu. It will be the Suyu winning up the team fight, but he will be losing up his life in that moment. Now the junglers are down. Both the junglers are down from both these sides. The Lord can't be contested, or it will be like a 50-50 Lord. The shortcut already coming to the play as well. Nathan will be marked down. Finally, will be taken down. There we go. They're trying to go in for more, but Carmilla, along with that, who is Peter in a very bad position. Peter will be popped off early. Now, Paramis have already Paramis is already formed up, and then they are trying to mark down the Khalid. Along with that, and I'm looking at Eto. He does have his eternal nether realm. They could play around the re-engage as well, but Team LCF, they need to get ready for that.
That was such a good move. Like Kali just used his quicksand guard along with the winter crown and in between
Mm-hmm.
four people. And that is exactly what is keeping him alive still. And look at the
That's
damage coming in from Beatrix. She already has a blade of despair. Also, she is going for the malefic gun. Okay, she has already gotten the malefic gun. So that is some extra range penetration like zeal mobility coming in from her. Now
true.
this is
Much
looking
needed.
impressive. Like, just imagine a good curse of blood and a Bennett's rage onto the four people by Beatrix and Carmilla as a combo. Now that can actually spell a wipeout.
That's true. That's true. And since this is just like the level 1 Lord, not much resources should be spent here. Both the teams, they need to make sure that they are getting their retribution right. Oh, but Peter comes up with the bad piece. Now the mid lane Echo pops up his nether realm as well. Now they're still trying to make sure they're hunting it down. The Purify already used up. Now Eta has to come back into a very safe position. Now, just few of the ultimates already used up from both the sides. They can still contest for the Lord. They're giving up a lot of lane pressure, but no, Khalil in a very bad position will be popping up his flicker, trying to go into the very safe position. He is safe for now, but he's trying to use up his quick sense, trying to make sure that he's coming back into the team fight as well. And Troby being loose as well. Look at them. They are right into the face of Team LCF. Eto, along with that, Khalid will be taken down. They're trying to hunt for the next member. Will it be the Chip? The Chip looking quite low. He cannot escape there. Oh, it's not the Chip, it's the Paramis. Yup, Paramis coming up with the help as well, unable to do so. Now, Team LCF, they completely shift their focus from the Lord to the mid lane. Now, the turrets are more important though, but no way! That fight, that 1v1 being won out by Nathan. There we go. Nathan is quite strong already. Look at his power spike already showing up. Peter will be taken down into the hands of Superman. They try to go in for more time, also going down. Look at the mobility coming in from the Fanny. So much. As well as that, Echo will be taken down. Romeo gets up the kill, and both the teams are not in any position to actually fight for the Lord.
They were really good moves, like Fanny escaping with her mobility. Oh, look at that, Fanny using the shortcut. But at the same time, reverse clone usage by Nathan just to escape from Gata's Kacha when he was low. I expected, I don't really like Paramis in this setup because I don't feel like he's contributing a lot and he's having to use the Winter Crown being popped up. And Kali survived. I just feel like Khalid is using the Winter Crown to its fullest, maximum potential right now.
Yep, that's true. That was a very close call for the Khalid. Just one more bad impact, it would have taken his life off. But Team Impunity India win up the level 1 Lord. It will be marching down very, very soon. Right now, we are looking at the items. So far, we are actually looking at the goal difference between both of the marksmen. 2k difference already. Not a good sign. But since we are already with the 12-minute mark, and we know that the Nathan is going to shine there unless he's going to get marked down. Look at that. The minions doing so much damage. Nathan using up entropy to escape for now. The Lord already there, but when he's following up the Lord, a good decision when you're on a Fanny, because you know that the mobility will be there unless you get caught down onto that very heavy CC that Team LCF are going to give them. But now they are very busy clearing up those lanes. They cannot lose any more inhibitors so far now.
I just feel like Team Alpha does not have enough CC to mark on to Fanny.
Yep.
But at the same time, they really need to mark on to Nathan right now because Nathan is going to deal some massive damage from the backline.
That's true, Miko. He already have his holy crystal as well. So they need to be aware. We did see, the Gadol Kacha as well as the Beatrix losing up that 1v1 fight against Nathan. Not a good decision. Okay, look at that. They do zone out the Fanny. A very good decision coming up. Now, they try to go ahead, try to give them the lane pressure because the lane pressure coming in from Team Impunity India right now is quite high. They do have a very good lane clearance, a very quick lane clearance as well. Look at them.
I feel like as long as Sicilian and Beatrix are there, our team LCS also has a good lane clear. But at the same
Yep,
time,
that's
they
true.
are very, very cautious because of the Netherlands.
Oh,
Oh, look at that. And it was
oh,
unsuccessful. Okay, no, still unsuccessful to get the kill confirmed onto Sue. And Fanny is going back for more. But no, Sue
no.
barely managed to escape.
Yeah, but Nathan, in a sliver of HP, look at him escape. Eto will be coming to the side of Nathan to help him out. He was trying to make some backdoor plays, but error was there in time just to save them up. The inhibitors hasn't gone down yet, but it is already lost up like 50% of his HP.
Yeah.
The Lord will be coming up very soon, Miko.
I feel like Beatrix should have kept a machine gun like Nibiru, or at least a runner like the sniper. Like, she could have actually succeeded in killing off Nathan. But, well,
Yep.
she's just dealing mass damage, like trying to clear up the range and stuff. So the bomber as Bennett is okay. But still, like, like she has two weapons at her disposal. Just because so you can like quickly swap them out and go from short range or AoE to like high range or like burst, etc. So I feel like a bit of play was missing there. Like Beatrix is having a lot of fun, but look at the KD at 131. Like the gameplay is not yet that impressive.
Mm-hmm. No, yep, that's true. But again, look at them. Van trying to take up so much vision from his steel cables. He's just trying to go and go out, not dealing so much damage. He's just waiting it out. Now, the river area control. It is just because of Chip that Team Impunity India are all scattered. They could just come up with a shortcut any single moment possible because Chip under the top lane, that means he would come up. Oh, but they are missing the Chip there. He needs to report it right away. Team LCS, they are inviting Team Impunity India for a fight off, for a face off. Look at them. They're trying to zone them out.
Look at
Maybe
Chip
running
coming
the
back
position.
door.
But okay, maybe or maybe not. Look at that Chip already there. Along with that, the curse of blood coming into the play as well. Carmelo will be taken down. Nathan taking so much damage. Along with that, dealing so much damage. Double kill picked up by error as well. But what just happened? Before I could say anything, that is already a wipe out. Team LCS. They are all
Good
tumbled down.
play. Chip was actually clearing the top lane and look at Kali taking the damage so that the minion can survive. Like this is experience playing right now. Chip showing off his vision and look at that one more Winter Crown. Kali and Winter Crown are such a good pair right now. I'm just impressed about how good and how much misuse that he did with that item. And just look at that, oh my god. So the way Chip played it out, that was really impressive. So he just gave his vision at the top lane and suddenly he just teleported to the back line of Team LCF and he just used his shortcut so that everyone could assemble. But that was not before Carmela used her ultimate curse of blood. So by the time people arrived onto the location with the shortcuts, no one was actually affected by Carmela. And that just let Nathan deal so much damage and Fanny chasing Sicilian up to the inhibitor, securing the wipeout. Oh my god, that's a brilliant play. I just feel like Chip is gonna be like very much prioritized this time as a ban or a pick, maybe. Well, some of the bans are gonna stay the same. What do you
Oh,
feel?
maybe not, but we will be coming back right into the game number 2 very, very soon. Let's take a short break and we'll be right back.
Our determination will never be extinguished! Our cosmic blaze will never be extinguished! Cosmic flare! Time to shine, Dexter! Burn in the moment! Everyone has their own competitive dream! Burn with passion and always dare to shine!
Okay, so we are back with the second match, and this time it's gonna be LCF on the blue side and Team Impunity
Who
on the
said
red
there are no
side. And let's
shortcuts in
start,
life?
brother, I
I
tell you.
literally invented
So
one.
Phobius is done, and so is Chip. So I feel like Chip is a pick, like they really don't want the
Mhm.
shortcuts coming onto them.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. The last match it was quite annoying to see how the chip was every single where into the team, into the map already. One moment he's at the top lane, the next moment you see him into the bot, maybe to the mid. He is onto the, clearing up those lanes, trying to make sure that team LCF are scattered around so that the minions will be the one pouring in, and
Muscle
yep,
of
the
iron,
chip
Your
will be
bones
enemies
of
have
banned this
steel.
been.
time. And along with that, Gatot Kacha going into the ban section as well. Understandable. Now, you don't want to give up the Gatot Kacha into the side of Team Impunity India, right?
Sir, what's your
And I
command? Your
say,
team
just
is
look
banned.
at that because Team LCF has the first pick, but still actually banning Gatot Kacha, which is one of their own heroes. This just shows that they are actually
Always on the
prioritizing
way.
a hero
Your team
other
is
than Gatot
banned.
Kacha. And I just feel like Sicilian, Fanny, and Hilda are the top priorities because if Hilda is open, I just feel like she's gonna be one of the first picks for Team LCF. Also, Gatot Kacha is a hero who can jump onto the back lane with his AOG, and Peter is usually a hero like a mage who has a control tower, like not
Butterflies
a lot of
born by thy
mobility.
Your
wish,
team is
So
picking.
guided by lantern's
let's
light.
see. And
Fight for the ultimate
what did I
answer.
tell you?
Yep. Team Impunity India, they have done their homework. Look at them. They are banding up the Sushan as well. Now we know that Peter, who plays the mage for the side of Team LCF, really likes to play these kind of mages. And so closing up those possibilities into this match number 2 will be a good option, and Team Impunity India do the same. With that, Team LCF picks up the Hilda onto that EXP lane probably, because I feel like it could have worked on much better, because into the first game we did see both of the EXP laners all over the map in every single team fight. Both the EXP laners are quite well versed with their rotations and making sure that they are shutting down each of the mages.
I saw Kali do a lot of like navigation and
Sun
zoning out,
rises when
and
I
I
give
feel
the
like
word.
we
Your
are
team
gonna
is
see a similar
picking.
thing right now. But at the same time, I just feel like that was a wrong ban because even with Zushin ban, there's Sicilian open, Eve is open. Like there are a lot of other options as well. So I
Time
feel
to take
like
the field.
Hilda and these would have been a better option for a ban.
That's true. That's true. But there we go. We are going ahead into the picks again, and this time Bruno will be prioritized. Being locked on already against a Moscow. Now we know that the Moscow has a lot of possibilities to run
My
around
mission
into the
is to
map,
protect
trying to
Your
make
lives.
team
sure
is
to get
picking.
those inhibitors as well as those turrets, the structure standing so tall onto the side of Team LCF. Now, the Spear of Disruption is going to definitely be a very, very important resource for him to, to go around the map. But there we go. We got our tank already. The Hylos getting picked on. We now it is going to be
Time to
quite
drop
deadly
the
though, because
Your
BO3.
team is banning.
they need to burst down the Hylos right before he could just go in with a glorious pathway.
As for Moscow does have the potential because that the HS as well as the anti-heal of the Sea Halberd is gonna come in from it. But look at that. Like electrifying beats by Joy is looking really good because Joy is actually very, very nice in this current meta. And I feel like she has the potential to dive in and lock on to Bruno. But at the same time, in the late game, Bruno does have a lot of damage. Those volley shots are gonna hurt very bad.
That's true. That's true. He's going to deal a lot of damage once he makes up
I
his
have a
4
thought.
items along with the
Sanjo.
malefic
Your
gun.
team is
Now it is going
banning.
to get quite deadly. With that, look at them. They are closing all the possibilities that
Among the
Lom Lom
planes
Mai could go
exists
ahead with.
equilibrium, which I was
The
made
Hayabusa
for.
along with a Eve getting banned. What are your thoughts on that Eve? This seems like a perma ban this match.
As I said, like there are a lot of possibilities, and which I said, like with banning Zushin, a lot of heroes are still open. But right now, since they are prioritizing other heroes, I feel like this is a good ban because Eve's doing pretty well, like sitting back and like giving a lot of vision, providing debuffs, like a lot slow with that white crystal, so annoying.
Your
And
team
good
is
and the
banning.
constant debuffs, like she is one hell of a hero to have at the opponent if you cannot mark her down. So I just feel like they might be having a hero who cannot dive in easily. So are we looking at a fighter hyper or let's see. Well, CO is still open.
Yep. Yep, it is still open, but they might go in for it or they might not. Let's just see. And moving ahead onto the draft already, the alpha being banned up as well. Lom Lomai, what is he going to pick for
For
the side
honor.
of
Your team
jungler?
is
Oh, with that
picking.
Tigreal getting banned as well. Understandable, understandable. Looks like they could they wanted to go for like some heavy kind of CC tank, and this is like the viable option to ban up.
Love and hope are the
Your
Okay.
two
team is
greatest
picking.
This
inventions.
is showing us that their ban was kind of unfounded, but at the same time, what do you think? Is it gonna be Angela as Rome or is it gonna be Angela
The
as
Immortal
a
One
tank
chose me to
like
vanquish the
mage?
shadows that
Well, as I
plague
said,
this
Uh,
CO
world.
is open, so we are seeing a CO again.
Yep, so you was getting zoned out very, hard onto the last game, but
Gaze
this
the
time they
stars
go in
and see
ahead
your
with
team is
a very, very
picking.
strong CC, and there we go. Oh, there we go. And coming back to your question, Miko, I feel like Angela could go for the roam because I do feel like Eto has picked up the Angela, so they might have they might swap in later on. But again, if they are picking up as their mage, I feel like they will be lacking some magic damage. Other than Joy, it is going to get a little hard for them to actually come up. But there's a possibility that Joy could actually reach up the Bruno along with Atsuyu as well, dealing so much damage with the electrifying beat. So that is going to be one of the concern again. But Team LCF, they might be in one step ahead with the diversions.
As I said, like I was actually seeing this coming because the moment Eto locked on to Angela, I was like, this feels like a mage pick, and yes, it is so. So Carmela, along with these two, I feel like this can be a really good combo if, like, played out well. But as we know, execution is so important right now.
Yep, that's true. It is much needed into the game already because you need to make sure that both the teams are counter ganking, making sure that taking all the resources into their advantage, and that is how you win up the game. And as we are into the loading screen right now, guys, I would like to request you to all to like the stream. Bring up your friends as well. Share the stream. There we go. A team. Impunity India are on a match point right now against Team LCF. Who wants to miss that? And with that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the land of dawn. You're watching the second match between Team LCF versus Team Impunity India. And Team Impunity India being on a match lead. Will they be going in for a clean sweep or taking LCF into the match number 3? What are your thoughts? Let us know.
Okay. I'm not sure what my thoughts are supposed to be on this, Vici.
Oh, what just happened? A very, very quick defeat coming in?
This is something only the referees can tell us what is going on.
Yep. They'll update us very, very soon, but maybe, few of the team members are having some connection issue or some technical issues. So be right back. We'll be continuing with our match very, very soon. And this is your moment, guys. Bring up your friends.
Our determination will never be extinguished! Our cosmic blaze will never be extinguished! Cosmic flare! Time to shine, Dexter! Burn in the moment! Everyone has their own competitive dream! Burn with passion and always dare to shine!
My, was so interesting. So the second match actually goes to Team LCS, and this is the final match of the BO3 series, and whoever wins it is gonna be the winner. Peachy, what do you feel about this?
Okay, looks like that was, this puts like both the teams on a bridge
I am
where
not the
if
only
they
one
lose
that
one
will
match,
notice
they will
change.
be just like falling down. A very crucial match because a one for one score, it is going to be very hard for them, and maybe they are going in for the same draft. Am I right about that, Nico?
No, it is a
I am the
completely different
moonlight,
draft
and our
because
green through the is darkness.
it's gonna be the last match, and the previous match has been surrendered. So the
Yep.
win goes to
Okay.
Team LCF.
Oh, okay. There we go. Looks like Team LCF onto the blue side again, and Team Impunity India onto the red side. And the bans are still going on. I'm not quite sure. Looking at the Mia ban, that are they going in for like a same draft or maybe going for a redraft? But let's just see what will happen. Team LCF, they are yet to ban. Maybe they could prioritize a marksman or probably a mage this time onto the ban section.
Always
I'm
on the
just so
way.
confused. Yeah,
Your
I was
team is
expecting
banned.
Hilda, Matilda, and Chip to be prioritized still, but Mia is completely a shocker to me.
That's true. That's true. I mean, you see that kind of ban in a ranked matches, but again, the dynamics of a ranked match and a tournament match is quite different. And as much as you know, the team and not like no members of Team LCF really have like a one trick hero onto that Mia. So I'm not quite sure what Team Impunity India are going for.
Exactly. Like I wouldn't understood if it was a Brodo or like Brody or some hero which is actually used by these people. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that is still a surprise, but let's see what they're cooking. And
Butterflies
look at
born
that.
by
So
my
Zushin
wish,
is also banned.
guided by lantern's light.
Yep, Zushin, understandable. Now, Peter does have a choice to pick up the Zushin, or maybe as we seen into the last draft, a Louis might come into the play again. I was excited to see Louis because it's one of my favorite
Who said there
hero.
are no shortcuts
But
in
Your
life?
but
team
I
is
literally
banned.
invented one.
unfortunately, something just happened. Into the backlines, and here we are into the third match.
This is so true. Life never happens the way you want it to happen. So, guys, life is not lifing for Peachy, but the match is still matching. So, coming back to this,
Fight!
and look at
Fight for
that.
the ultimate.
Chip
Your
and
team
Hilda
is
have been
picking.
taken out as expected. So, you might actually get to
Sir,
see her.
what's your
Ooh.
command? Your team is
So, London
picking.
gets her fanny back.
Okay, okay. The draft coming up quite spicy. Look at that. Lomlo Mike gets up his favorite hero now. Fanny coming into the play. Technically, this should be the second match, but the third, talking about like the 1v1 pointers to each of the team, the third match. So, yep, we are going to see a Fanny yet again. Which Fanny would, did better this time? We will be knowing that very, very soon with that team, Impunity India or on the picking side. What are they going to pick? What are your thoughts? Some small guesses, Nico.
Only love at
Your
night
team
I
is
just
is
feel
banned.
okay.
everlasting.
I feel like Eve is a viable pick, but at the same time, they could even go for Luo Yi, so maybe they'll just save her for
Among
later.
the planes
Your
exists the
team is
equilibrium,
banned.
which
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
that's
made
true.
for.
Okay.
Okay, they're going
They
for
did not.
that.
They are going all in. So the slow coming in from the void crystal coupled up with the glorious pathway, that is looking really bad for Sicilian. But at the same time, Team Impunity did manage to get Gatot Kacha. And looks like
Yep.
Gatot Kacha might actually be the tank. So they are planning for Ambassador as an EXP, I guess, because I don't feel he's that viable at the Ghoul lane, but again, he is kind of a flex spec right now, so both of them could be okay.
Yep, you're right about that, Miko. They could go in for that. And again, one last pick left, and 3 seconds onto the team
Our
counter.
determination will
Oh,
never
the
be
Claude was
Your
extinguished.
team
open.
is
Oh,
banning.
there we go. We might be seeing like the N6 Prime skin already coming up. So since this is a tournament
Time
lobby,
to
so
take
we
the
Yes,
might be
field.
seeing
exactly.
that.
Your
I
team
have
is
seen that,
banning.
and I was like, oh my god, that skin looks so rad. And I was like, I want to try that, but I was casting and I was like fangirling on that skin because that skin looks really good. Like ML is actually outdoing themselves with all these new skins and the types. But look at that, they are actually closing in the options. Like white Mia is still a surprise to me. But look at that,
Yeah.
Bruno has been taken out. So they're actually trying to narrow down onto the options for Team LCM.
That's true. That's true. Right now, they are on to the ban phase. We are back again to the
Yeah.
ban phase.
Are we going to see
So
a Khalid or Alpha?
Hayabusa.
Okay, a
Send
Hayabusa.
out.
possible,
Your team is banning.
possible. Khalid should be prioritized though. I feel like Gatot Kacha could go onto the Rome and Khalid onto that EXP or maybe vice versa. But let's just see.
It is in despair that
Your
I
team
see the
is banning.
As
fondest
expected,
hopes.
like they are really trying to remove all the options for the Team LCM. Now, I just feel like Team LCF might be going for a Brody or Popol. Let's see. Let's see. And there's another final band left. Who is it
Okay.
gonna be?
The lucky winner. I feel like it is going to be a tank probably.
Again, a degree?
Sound
Okay, no, it's a
rises when I give the
Your
Khalid.
word.
team is picking.
Yep.
I just
Versatile
feel like
hero.
completely. Like I was actually expecting Khalid or Alpha to get the ban, but okay, not Alpha, but at least Khalid is there. So is it gonna be a pick? So they actually need a roamer or an EXP and the hyper. So this is gonna be maybe the other one, the roamer or EXP pick, unless they want to
Maybe.
prioritize something which could actually go out.
Looks like they are still deciding what they are going to pick. Oh, okay. Chow tank. Maybe the Chow onto the tank or maybe onto the EXP lane. Team Impunity India, they're really picking up a lot of versatile hero. Look
I
at them. They
rap,
pick up the
therefore I am.
Chow
Your
along
team
with
is
that
picking.
the Gatot as well. Even I'm confused like who could be the one going onto the EXP lane, but high possibility that the Gatot will be EXP lane. Again, coming back to Team LCF right now, they need a marksman along with that a tank as well. What are the options? Make a quick guess, Nico.
Hmm. If Hylos is actually going on to the EXP and
Yep.
they actually need a tank, I feel like Edith could be a viable option, or else like go for a complete tank. Like there are so many open. Like you can go for a basic like old school Tigreal. He's also doing good, but
I am the priestess
Oh.
of primal lightning, the hunter of all the evil
Your
I
gods.
predictions
am
are right on,
vengeance
Miko. Look
Your
at
in
that.
team is
Edith
mind.
does
picking.
get prioritized. They are listening to you, Miko.
I completely think so. Oh my god. Is my house wiretapped or something? Because they are definitely listening. Like, I was just feeling that they need something to log on to, like Fanny as well. Because, Sicilian does not have that amount of, like, CC. Like, even like, Gatot Kacha with the Unbreakable, like, cannot exactly log on to Fanny. So Chow
Yep.
is actually coming in as the cliche moment, as a clutch in, because that way of the dragon can do, like, obviously we all know what it can do. So well, it's completely understandable how
Time to
they got
drop
to
the
pick him.
beat of the flash.
Yep,
Oh,
that's true. And Team Impunity India yet again going up for that joy. We were seeing joy coming into the play, into the draft like few before they surrendered. But now again, the joy coming into the play. That means the Moscow has to play it safe. Along with that, Eve has to play it safe because even if there's like a real world manipulation, Joy could still go in with the electrifying beat.
I just feel like a lot of dash heroes completely negate the RWM because you can just dash out of there. And for heroes who have to walk, like, when I'm playing Fanny, because I cannot use the cables, I'm just like the walking Fanny, and then I'll just reach the boundary and stand there for like 2 seconds. So that time the
Oh
immobilize
man,
coming in from the RWM can be so annoying.
MOBA
But at the same time,
that's
like,
true.
Spartus, Joy, like all these dash heroes
5
like
seconds
Moscow,
till
they
the
can just
enemy
dash
reaches the
outside the boundary
battlefield.
and not be
Smash
affected by
them!
it.
That is true. That is true. And I would like to welcome everyone into the land of Dawn. We are on to the third match, going for one score right now. Of these teams, who is going to be the one winning up and taking away a spot into the next round? Look at both the junglers already. They are prioritizing a different kind of rotation. Joy coming up with the purple buff first and moving towards the goal lane, while Fanny does have a leverage to go ahead with the blue buff and come up with the steel cables onto the top lane.
I just feel like I've seen a lot of good fannies like not use their steel cables up front, like at the early. Just walk on to like near the lane, and once they get a lot of vision, they just jump in with the steel cable. So I just feel
Yep.
like she might be going to the bot lane as the first
Oh,
rotation.
yep, highly possible because the Gatot is still there. We are seeing some kind of lane freeze already onto the top lane. The Claw trying so hard to clear up his lane, trying to deal damage onto the Moscow as well. 50% of the HP already down. And now look at
Look
them.
at
The
Joy
shift is
taking up the position.
yep,
The
yep.
fanny is back.
Oh, okay. Joy gets zoned out quite hard by the Fanny. They don't want to mess with the Fanny who has just leveled up at level 4.
That was so close because Moscow was actually trying to recall, and as Joy went in with her electrifying beast, that
Oh,
the spear of misery and the cutthroat. The culture. Oh my god. The cherry on the top. So Moscow manages to take an assist, and Claude has been taken down.
oh, but the counter gank was there definitely, into the bot lane. Edith was taken off into the hands of Joy. Joy as well as Fanny, they are on a 1-for-1 score. Joy onto the upper hand, takes up the Lord. The aggression is onto the side of Team Impunity India. They're trying to score up there. The AOG coming out of the play as well does not connect very well, but Lom Mai this time wins up the retribution. Along with that, Eve gets up a kill. Joy, the core member, will be taken down. Oh, look at the error all the way from the top lane. Will be coming onto the team fight with the Spear of Destruction there, but the blue buff will be taken down. No hope for that. Along with that team, both the teams are fighting it out. Though there is close call. Oh,
Ooh.
okay. It will be the
Joy
Joy winning up.
manages to get it.
Yep. Good job though for these Joy, and now they disengage. They're just waiting it out. No more fights, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good decision because Fanny does not have her blue right now. Also, you
Uh-huh.
realize like Fanny's not a hero who is not really good with objectives, but at the same time, from the first match, we have been seeing Fanny just stealing the turtles every time. So, like, even
Yep.
though you are not good at the objective, but you're really good at stealing, and both the Fanny players are actually showing us how good they are at the retry.
That's true. That's true. Fanny is definitely getting the room to jump ahead. Look at that. Steel Cable's already onto the top lane. The Team Impunity India, who are onto the mid lane right now, trying to make sure that they are clearing up those minions before they go onto the top lane because the shift could be going up and the up. Chow trying to get away of Dragon. Now he's just waiting up for the crucial members to come in. Error right now in position, along with the Spear of Misery already used up on Chow. Chow, he needs to play safe though. He needs to play like a Tigreal right now, like a real man hiding in the bush. I mean, not his voice line, but yep. We
Yes.
see that Tigreal always hiding into the bush. Oh,
Okay.
but mid
The
lane.
Brazilian has been
Mid
taken
lane.
down. That
Yep.
was a real bad gank, like the Earth Shatter and onward loop, the Law and Order, and the Beautiful Manipulation. That was such the electrifying beats coming in, the Earth Shatter, IOG has been used, Glorious Path, and the Fear of Destruction connects onto them.
Yep, they go in for more. Look at them. The Earthquake Shatter coming into play as well. The knock-up already there onto the Katotka, so he will be taken down into the hands of Ferrer. They try to go in for more. There is a lot of knock-up onto the side of Team LCF. Now Claude joins up the team fight as well. Who is Peter being taken off? That is a 3-for-1 trade. Now the shift is already onto the Turtle.
That is a good decision. Chow just used up his flicker to get a shutdown onto E.
Oh. Yep. Not a good decision, Edith. Not a good decision. Looks like it will be Van taking up the turtle this time. Lom Mai really had a very, very close option trying to do the retribution. He did manage to pop this retribution not onto the turtle. Again, we did see how the Edith was jumping around when the team fight was on, and Chow having that way of dragon right on time.
Completely. I just feel like, as I said, Fanny is doing a good job of stealing turtles, and he just decided not to steal this time, so.
But on to the other hand, the blue buff of Fanny, there is some skirmish going on because Joy taking up so much stacks from the high loss. They are still trying to wait it out. Now that fast lane rotation coming onto the bot lane coming in from Fanny already, though, Fanny was able to take out like 240 gold from the Claude.
That is some fine decision. I'm also liking the way Sicilian is building, like going for the elegant gem and then prioritizing the anti-heal because they're gonna need the glowing wand really bad, especially against Hylos and Ada. And
They need
Fanny
it.
with the recent buffs, like the War Axe is doing her so many wonders. Now look at that, she already has a War Axe.
Oh, that's true. Blazing Duet coming into play as well. Fanny still dealing so much damage onto that Claude, unable to do so. But also, Claude running away with 20% of his HP remaining. He does try to get ahead. Oh, but for top lane as well, the primal form coming into play onto that. Joy will be taken down Van this time, but the bot lane, the shift is there. RWM coming into the play along with that. Jabong goes in with the glorious pathways giving up so much flow to the enemies. Look at that. Claude gets a kill. Along with that, Hylos does get a kill. That is like 3 members down from the side of Team Impunity India this time.
Now, again, this is a good trade going in. And just look at that. So the RWM and the glorious pathway coupled up, although the mirror image did manage to get Claude out of the problem. But at the same time, that was not enough to keep them safe. The turtle is like free turtle. Oh, and Moscow takes it. So Moscow is gonna have some extra defense and damage coming in.
That's true. That is true. Look at that. The Sanguine Claws does not connect there. They are trying to hunt down the Edith, who is alone into the mid lane right now, trying to clear up those lanes so that they won't be pushing up the mid lane. Now Chow coming onto the play as well. He is trying to wait it out again. Oh,
Earth Shatter, but it is that was a waste of resource because now Edith does not have her flicker.
Yup, the flicker already baited out. Oh, wait a minute. Chow trying to get a hit. He just uses up his skills, trying to wait it out. Jabom goes in with the glorious pathway yet again, trying to zone them out. The blazing duet does not connect quite there, but he is taking a lot of hit. Will be taking down along with that. Baki Moss will be taking down. Oh, so much damage from the RWM as well. He is trying to zone up those people. Along with that, the bat piece. Along with that, the bat impact doing a lot of damage. Now Fanny tries to get a hit in, but they are just waiting it out.
I was just remembering my childhood, those Beyblades, the Blazing Duet and the Fanny coming in together. But yes, there's a lot of damage coming in from Sicilian right now, and the Lollipop and the Burn, both of them are in place. So Clock of Destiny coupled up with the Glowing Ball, now that is dealing a lot of damage and the debuffs are coming in.
True, that's true. And along with that, I'm looking at the Claude already building up the Trinity build. He's just very close to building up the Golden Staff as well to stack up all those damage. Now they might get a hit because the neutral objective, the Lord will be up in just few seconds. We are talking about both the teams trying to go down on taking that river area control because 5 seconds just left for that level 1 Lord. Now top lane the shift is there. Oh, the way of dragon along with the flicker will be coming into the play now. Oh, the okay, close call for the
Moscow?
error. He will be
Yeah.
safe now, but he won't. But Fanny jumps in. Fanny trying to deal so much damage, but unable to do so. He has to back up now.
Like when you look at it, it feels like the AOG actually missed. But at the same time, if Gatotkacha did not expend his AOG right there, Adi would have actually guaranteed the kill onto one or two people. So although it did not connect, it was a very good save by Gatotkacha for his teammate. Well, look
Yep.
at that. I think Moscow is getting odd, and that's gonna be like some type of a free loss. Oh, the town is coming in and zoning in onto them. And Fanny leaves the law. Okay, the law has been set free. A chapter on to Gatotkacha, and the revitalize has been popped out. Royal World manipulation coming into the play. So this pathway has been used, and the fear of destruction connect. And look at that on the Chow Chow has been taken down. Electrifying beats by Joy, and they are trying to disengage. Okay. So Sissy and Claude are left, but they are pretty far away. And Moscow is trying to take out the Lord again. Joy is there, but Joy cannot do much because Hylos is actually doing a good job of zoning in. Look at that, Law and Order on to Joy, and Joy has to escape. The Lord has been secured by Fanny, and the Lord goes to Team LCF. Now this is not a luminous Lord, so like that's a lot of damage, but at the same time, they are gonna be able to push up some more turret. I feel like Team Impunity has to like regroup and like gather up. They have to be like very careful, like the Lord is marching in from the top lane.
Uh-huh.
So they are gonna get some more like turrets down because look at that, Moscow's already camping and they are having objectives in their mind.
That's true. That's true. Look at that. It is just because of the turrets you're going to win up a lot of games. Look at them. They are already shifting the focus towards that lord, the level 1 lord going into the hands of Team LCF, looking quite good. Again, the Chow trying to make sure that he's trying to get a hit, trying to get a way of dragon, but the RWM coming into play, zoning up so much people. Now, along with that, the EOG does connect onto the high loss alone. Eve managing to escape in a sliver of HP.
I feel like since the Lord was coming from the top lane, all of them concentrated on the top lane and managed to push it, while Fanny with the higher mobility just went to the bot lane, cleared the bot lane, and made sure the minions are gonna push it. So they actually managed to take down 3 turrets with even a non-luminous Lord. Like a 8 Lord for 3 turrets, like that's a lot of good trades coming in from Team LCS.
That is true. That is true. They are on a lead right now. Look at the goal difference as well. Not much, but again, there is this cow trying to get something. Maybe he's trying to go in with his way of dragon. Yep, he is just waiting it out. He really needs to get a way of dragon onto that error
Oh,
because
it's true. Like the goal difference is not much, but the problem is the concentration of the goal difference. Like even
yep.
though it is not much, but the whole goal difference is actually concentrated onto Fanny and Moscow with more than 9k gold.
That's true, but high loss, the glorious pathway coming out of the play along with that Fanny jumps in the AOG, does connect onto one member there. There it is, the high loss trying to step away the ring of punishment already there, but the RWM dealing so much damage. 3 members are already down from the side of Team Impunity India. The minions are marching in from the bot lane very, very soon. They're trying to get a very clear out, but I believe that Team Impunity India will be there to make sure that they are surviving. But Chow though, Chow does have his immortality. He could make those play, but he
But
doesn't have.
he's gonna
He doesn't
lose
have.
his.
Yep.
He
Oh,
survived
yeah.
and was concealed.
No way. Okay, the minions are already pouring in. Along with that, the glorious pathway and Chow. He loses his immortality and he's just 1 hit away. It will be the mega kill picked up by Peter. The minions are already over. This means the crystal will be taken down. Maybe waiting it out though because shutdown already there. He will be taken down. 1 more hit and it will be down. There we go. 2 members already down and what a successful clearance of minions coming in.
That was good defense, and that defense was just possible because of the existence of Sicilian. Sicilian with his area of effect damage, as well as the amount of damage. Oh my god.
Oh, that's true.
Look
That's
at
true.
that, the blood wings. The blood wings was a good decision, you know. It gives you survivability and like decent amount of damage. Like instead of going for the costliest item that is the holy crystal, which would have been good, or like going for some other HP based damage item like the lantern. Like it is actually good, especially against a Hylos and Eden. But at this time,
That's
you
true.
also need the amount of sustenance which the blood wings is going to give you.
Yep, I do agree with you. You know, the wishing lantern could really help the Sicilian, but again, the Lord is marching down from the mid lane. The minions are coming in. You know, they do have the Sicilian alive. Along with that, the Joy does get electrifying beats up. The stacks are already there onto the Lord, trying to make sure that they are taking it down. They're trying to take it on a corner. Look at that. Okarun going up with the glorious pathway. Super IMM. He will be popped off onto the right before that, but the main view. Look at them. They are marking down the crystal team LCS winning up this best of three series and
Victory!
proceeding ahead to the later rounds.
And that was wise decisions like onto the micro plays and what to do. Like prioritizing the turrets over the kills and stuff, taking the turtle and the lords whenever necessary. Fanny going split pushing and like making sure the minions are marching through the bot lane. Like, well, that was just well played. Although the Chow did come in as a clutch, but he did not get to use his Way of the Dragon onto Fanny much. But look at that. Okaron is flaunting the MVP with his 2-1-17 KDA.
With that KD, it feels like he was playing the role of a marksman there, though, taking up the MVP from Lom Lom Mai and Error as well.
Completely.
And with that, this was it, guys, for the first best of three series. Looks like Team LCF, they are proceeding ahead and getting closer to that victory. With that, we will be signing off. But don't go anywhere. You guys are still staying here, and the next match will be up very, very soon.
Our determination will never be extinguished! Our cosmic blaze will never be extinguished! Cosmic flare! Time to shine, Dexter! Burn in the moment! Everyone has their own competitive dream. Burn with passion and always dare to shine.
Hello everyone! Welcome to our latest hero revamp, featuring Granger, the Death Chanter. After his revamp, Granger now has a more aggressive playstyle and can excel as both jungler and gold layer. Granger's weapons now consume a resource called demonic energy to unleash a barrage of pain on his unfortunate targets. Death Chanter Granger. Passive skill, Capriccio. Granger's passive has been reworked. Skills that uses Demon Hunter weapons now consume demonic energy, a resource that regenerates over time. When Granger kills minions or creeps or participates in hero takedowns, the demonic energy cap of his weapons will permanently increase, and he will also recover a small portion of energy. All cooldown reduction obtained by Granger is converted into physical attack. First skill, Rhapsody. Granger's first skill has been adjusted for a more sustained playstyle. The cooldown has been shortened significantly, and it can be cast as long as there's enough energy in his handgun. When Granger casts his first skill, he fires his handgun continuously in the target direction, dealing physical damage while consuming the handgun's energy. The final bullet of this attack will always crit. This skill deals bonus damage to creeps and minions, and Granger gains movement speed while shooting. Second skill, Rondo. Granger's dash remains mostly unchanged, but now grants demonic energy. When Granger uses his second skill, he dashes in the target direction and instantly replenishes a portion of his handgun's energy. Each time Granger hits an enemy with his first skill, it will reduce a portion of this skill's cooldown. Ultimate, Death Sonata. Granger's revamped ultimate now has an extremely short cooldown, but each shot will consume energy from his cannon. Granger's ultimate fires a large projectile in the target direction, dealing damage to enemy minions it passes through, and explodes upon hitting the first enemy hero, dealing AoE physical damage and briefly slowing targets. Granger can dash once in the target direction after each shot. The ultimate can also be used during his first skill. In the laning phase, use Granger's first skill to poke the enemy. When his energy gets low, use his second skill to replenish it and continue to poke with his first skill. In teamfights, use Granger's ultimate to poke from a safe distance and continue the attack with his first skill. When the first skill ends, use his ultimate again for more damage and to reposition. If enemies get close, use his second skill to create distance and continue dealing damage with his first skill. Granger possesses good mobility and sustained damage, but his damage output is dependent on his demonic energy, and he gets stronger as his energy cap increases. Upgrade Granger's first skill at level 1 and continue to prioritize upgrading it as the main source of his damage. Granger can use his second skill during his first skill to adjust his position and ensure the first skill lines up with the target. When Granger's first skill can no longer hit the enemy, tap the skill again or the ultimate to end the first skill and conserve demonic energy. Granger can permanently increase his demonic energy by killing minions and creeps. The more you kill, the more you can use his skills. We recommend the Assassin emblem for Granger with the Rupture, Festival of Blood, and Lethal Ignition talents. Granger's first skill deals enough damage to quickly trigger Lethal Ignition's Scorch effect, and because Granger is a skill damage hero, Festival of Blood will greatly enhance his sustainability. Blade of Despair is Granger's core equipment. It provides very high physical attack to boost Granger's skill damage. Build Hunter Strike in the early game for the physical attack and movement speed effect, and get Malefic Roar in the late game to deal with high physical defense targets. We recommend the Retribution battle spell for Granger. Granger's first skill deals bonus damage to creeps, making him an effective jungler. Granger can also take Flicker for the gold lane since he also deals bonus damage to minions. When laning, Flicker will help him escape enemy ganks. Granger counters squishy heroes who lack mobility, such as Chang'e and Cecilion, who have a hard time dodging his first skill and are vulnerable to the high damage of his ultimate. Granger is countered by heroes with strong single target killing power. Despite having good mobility, Granger lacks other defensive measures. Heroes like Saber and Hayabusa can quickly get the jump on Granger and finish him off. Granger pairs well with heroes that have strong CC abilities, such as Franco and Kaja, who can hold enemies in place for Granger's entire first skill. Granger should focus on jungling in the early game to gain an economic advantage. As a marksman, Granger's skills have a higher damage bonus to kill creeps faster. By getting equipment ahead of the enemy, he can snowball the advantage and stay a strong threat throughout the match. In the mid to late game, Granger will have more demonic energy thanks to his passive, allowing for more uses of his ultimate and first skill. But it's important to continue farming creeps and minions to keep raising Granger's demonic energy to boost his combat prowess. Granger the Death Chanter revamp arriving November 6th. And until next time, we'll be seeing you in the Land of Dawn.
Do I really have what it takes? Let's burn. As bright as we can, Dexter. Till the very end.
Our determination will never be extinguished!
Oh my god, so finally we are back, guys. And this is a match between blue team and red team.
That's a very
And
well way to put it, Echo. I think our viewers might be confused.
Who said there are no
yes,
shortcuts in
but
life?
there
I
is
literally
no
invented
confusion
one.
about the bans, guys. Just look at that. Chip has been prioritized as the first man, and I feel like that is completely understandable because he is so
Always on
annoying.
the way.
Your team is banning.
Absolutely, I have to agree with you on that. But yes, with that, even Matilda gets banned, so that is two high mobility heroes already banned, isn't it?
I just feel like, if Chip is a Avengers Assemble, Matilda is like a bootleg version of Avengers Assemble because that guiding wind and the circling eagle, she can just teleport one of the peoples onto the backline. So yeah. I also feel that Hilda should be prioritized, but oh my god, what is that? So Grok is prioritized. And I feel like this is more of a tank like, targeted ban.
Butterflies born
Yes,
by
and for any of
wish.
you guys who just
Guided
joined
by
in, we
lantern
have this
flight.
best of three series between Team Before You versus Rayman's Dragon. So let's see how will this go. Team Before You are on the blue side and Team Rayman's Dragon are on the red side. And with that, even the Zushin getting banned from that mid lane here, Meko.
I feel like that is completely understandable because she has so much potential and team fights, the 5v5 with the Crimson Beacon and Lantern
Sir,
Flare.
what's your
Oh god,
command?
that
Your
is so
team
annoying.
is
And look
banning.
at that. Fanny has also been banned.
I feel like that's a good ban coming in, because considering the mobility of the Fanny in the current meta and also with the buff, that hero is so difficult to counter against. And if you just give the Fanny the early snowball potential, and I feel that is a GG. No way you can get back from that if the Fanny is like as good as some of the best users out there.
Understandable. But at the same time, I just feel like a lot of power picks are being
Your
left
team
open.
is picking.
Like Hilda is there, Khalid, and it is not that much prioritized, but at the same time, like even Sicilian, Bruno, like there are a lot of heroes who are rising up in this current meta. And look at that. Zio has been picked. Like his mobility and damage, like that is nothing to scoff at.
Absolutely, with the among the
Wipe
top
out all the injustice
like,
in the world.
hyper in the current meta. I think Shuyo stands at almost at the top three so far. He has that potential, of really going into the team fight and just getting out of there with the slippery type of hero he is with the dashes and with the damage, that insane burst. It can be pretty detrimental for any team to give it to the other side when they know that potential damage that this hero can bring to the table. So you can see team, red here are answering back with the chow and the Gatot Kasha combination. What do you have to say about that, Yumeko?
I, as I was saying that Hilda and Eve are open, but I think this the blue team can hear me because the red team is making decisions
Your
which
team is
are a
banning.
little hard to understand. While Alpha is a really good pick, I feel like Chow is a pick like which was actually
Time to take
forced
the
out
field.
because
Your
of
team
Theo.
is banning.
Like the Jeet Kuto are coming along with the Way of the Dragon. That can actually just help us out to zone in onto Theo and lock him
It is
down.
in
But at the
despair
same
that
time,
Your
I
I just
team
see
feel
the
is
like
banning.
fondest
Hilda
hopes.
is gonna be a lot of nuisance or invades, a lot of zoning in is gonna come on from her. But at the same time, since Alpha is a fighter hyper, so he's gonna have
Mhm.
less problems as compared to an assassin hyper.
Absolutely, that Hilda is specifically, used to counter those assassin pick, and it also, give the side a lot of, frontline potential because that hero is so tanky, and with the revitalize, she can regen back the HP just after going back to the bush with already her passive regening her
Your
HP, and
team is banning.
I feel like it's not the best pick against alpha hyper because the alphas with the true damage can melt down this Hilda pretty easily. So they need to be careful how they utilize this Hilda. If she can, use that early game potential against that alpha, it can be used in that sense, but when the game goes to the late game or even from the mid game, it is pretty difficult for that Hilda to do what she can do in the early game. So
As
considering
fleeting
that, I
as a
think so the Hilda really
snowflake
needs to be choosy
breath,
about who she picks
as
to counter in the
timeless
map.
as a glacier's
And with the
heart.
bans coming in really fast, you can
Only
see a lot
love
of
at
heroes
night
getting banned.
Your
So
I
is the
team
think
is
last
Devil
banning.
game.
just answered your question, Shin, because you just said who Hilda needs to counter, and there you have it. He is the one Hilda needs to mark because if Hilda does not mark Sicilian properly, he's gonna be devastating from the team Rayman's Dragon.
absolutely, this late game potential from Cecilion is so strong, and if you let that hero free stack, is gonna be like he's gonna have a field day on the map. So considering that, this Hilda really need to move around the map to get that hero down. So to answer back the picks of team Rayman's Dragon, you can see team before you are picking that Claude, but will it be useful is the
Welcome to
question
the
because that
land
Gatot
of
Kacha will
Dawn!
go with the Vengeance, and that can be a counter, along with the Blade Armor.
Yes, well, that is completely true. I just feel like Claude has the option to, disengage with her second skill, the mirror image, and then come back after the vengeance has been expended. Because there are a lot of other heroes who cannot do that, and once you dive in, like just take Mia for an example. So you use a hidden moonlight
Victory
and you
is in
dive in
sight,
with the
soldier!
inspire, and suddenly you are faced off with a vengeance, or like one with a crossbow of Tang and suddenly the vengeance pops out. So you have been completely nullified. Whereas Claude can actually just back off and come back in once the vengeance is finished. So that
That
could
is
also be
true.
a good way to use it.
That is really true, but I think with the dive potential coming from the side of team Rayman's Dragon, that Gatot Kacha is just gonna be on Claude entire time because he does not want that Claude to go around the map and dealing that blazing duet damage freely onto the back line. But with the drafts coming in already, which one do you think is stronger for you? Which one do you go for here, Meko?
I just feel like if Hilda and Gato do a good job of locking on to targets, both of them can create a lot of nuisance. So I'm kind of gonna be impartial because
Welcome to
Hilda and
MOBA
Eve,
Legends.
while Sicilian and Alpha, like these are all
5
looking really
seconds till
good
the
in those
enemy
lineups.
reaches the battlefield.
So frankly
Smash
speaking,
them.
I am not gonna choose a favorite right now.
All troops deployed.
But I guess I would still support Sicilian a bit more as the draft is going to go.
Alrighty, but for that Cecilion to come online, it has to be that late game or pretty early attacking for this hero. But so far, the game has already begun. Welcome to the land of Dawn, guys. Between team before you on the blue side and team Rayman's Dragon on the red side. This is the first game in this best of 3 series. So let's see which team will come on top for this first game. So far, the map is pretty peaceful.
Okay. And Cecilia just goes with the boots instead of the mana
You can see
necklaces. And I just feel like level 1, the double mana necklace is a more viable option for a hero like Cecilia.
Yes, he can go for the early, glowing wand if he wants to. If he also want to, get down that high HP heroes. But onto the mid lane, there is a lot of poke going on. Both the teams are chunked pretty low. You can see they will disengage so far. We are already 1 minute in, and you can see both the hypers almost level 4 here.
Oh, Sicilian is actually trying to get the boot, elegant gem, and then the combo, and the first blood goes to Alpha, and he has been taken down. This is gonna be a oh no! That was such a good flicker play coming in by Akai, and Seo getting the kill onto Alpha. Alpha has been punished for being too greedy.
Yes, a bit too aggressive coming in from the side of Team Reman's Dragon. They thought they could go in for the invade without getting punished, but guess what? That Shuyo with the early game damage along with the top lane again. You can see Shuyo really utilizing that early game potential really well and getting another kill just 2 minutes in the game. So I think this Shuyo is really good onto the first 2 minutes of the game, but again onto the mid lane. There is a lot of zoning coming in from the side of Team Reman Dragon. The turtle has already spawned. Which team do you think has a better control so far here?
Right now, I'd say that Team Raman's Dragon has a better map control because just look at that. Okay, Alpha was getting the total, but the heavy spin onto Alpha, zoning him out completely. Ice Cube to rescue as well. I just feel like CEO has a lot of potential right now, but look at that. The team is actually fight is going on, and the team hasn't taken down. AOG hasn't used the Spear of Dragon connects. Oh, the Spear of Destruction, the Blazing Duet has been used as well. The Power of Violet, the risk manipulation into the game. Power of Violet is locking onto Alpha, and Alpha has to retreat. That is a good play. What do you feel, Shinji, about this?
I think team, before you really utilize that Akai to zone that Alpha down, and then did you just see how much damage that Akai did by himself to the Alpha? It was really surprising for me too. And yeah, I feel like they really played their cards well. The Claude coming in with the Blazing Duet, really giving that extra damage that they needed in the team fight, and they were also able to steal that turtle, the blue buff away, but onto the top.
Akai has been like really cornered. Look at that, heavy spin has been expanded and force swing onto Akai, and Akai has been taken down by Alpha. So that is the price you pay for zoning in too deep into the enemy jungle. The lethal has been secured by the red team as well. Claude being in a defensive stance and the Art of Fury coming in handy. And look at that skin. Oh my god, I am so in love. The Blazing Duet has been popped out onto Moscow, and Moscow with a defensive flicker. Now that flicker actually saved his life. Look at that. The spear is... Oh my god, the Spear of Destruction actually connected and they got killed as well, but Sicilian has also been taken down. Chow onto his real side spot, and Chow has also been punished for driving in too deep.
Yes, just when we think the tempo is back to the side of team, Reman's Dragon team, before you are just back with the action, they are not letting team Reman Dragon go in for those plays. You can see the punish coming in so well. All the members are onto those targets really fast, and yeah, I feel like team Reman's Dragon really needs to be careful for that early game. So far they do not have the lead, and it can be seen on the map. The pressure on the top lane is so high. Do you think this turret will get taken down here though?
I feel like no, they will survive, but at the same time, look at the damage coming in from Claude. Like, that is a lot of damage, and I just feel like the blue team is doing a very good job of supporting Claude. Oh, the Spear of Destruction connects onto them. But that was a nice decision. Moscow did not come to that. And the commitment issue, like Moscow already knew what is going to happen and he backed off. So this time I feel like the turret might be going down. But they are actually focusing on the turtle. The turtle is being swept up by CEO and Claude joins the fray. Moscow is back to the lane trying to defend it, and it's the Queen Lord. Turtle to the blue team.
Yes, indeed. But again, on the bot lane, almost there is another fight going on. Take it away, Miko.
Sicilian has been taken down. The AOG onto Hilda. Oh my god, the double kill coming in, and the heavy spin has been expended. But heavy spin is on this side of the wall. John is doing a good job of evading, but that's not enough. I just feel like John's doing a good job of running around, but he's not being able to catch on to anyone.
Yes, their pick-off style gameplay is not really coming through with the Chow here, but onto the top lane, you can see, despite team, Reman's Dragon back down with the kills, but they are getting the objectives across the map. They already had gotten two turrets, and it is seen like on the bot lane the Alpha is trying to invade, and there could be another potential gank.
Yes, and look at that. Once more, Alpha has been taken down. I think Akai is doing a really good job of zoning out the body spins and the heavy spins. Like, he's also dealing a lot of damage.
Yes, but I think, despite team, before you are ahead with the kill and the goal, they really need to go for those turrets real quick. If they don't convert those, you know,
Oh, the G is coming in, but the red buff goes to the blue team. I just felt that that might be a engage coming in from Chow, but Chow is actually not engaging. He's just like giving some amount of vision, and that's it.
yes, but again onto the mid lane, the Chow wants to go in, but you can see the Hilda's pressure
Oh,
is
the
so
G
high.
Again, the G code was just a knockup, and he's trying to recall, and Hilda is onto Moscow. Okay, no, both of them recalling, like going back.
Exactly, but again on the mid lane, you can see already 5 members from the side of team before you there. So much poke coming onto that
Vengeance
QT.
has been popped out, and the body slam coming in. The power of violence blazing it onto Cecilian. The real one manipulation has also been used. Cecilian is very low HP. Oh, Alpha comes in and a kill onto the heavy spin onto Alpha and spins down. Alpha gets a kill onto Claude, but Alpha has been taken down by CEO. Every time I think Alpha is just being punished by Akai. Oh, that's a lot of that. And Akai has also been taken down.
This Akai is doing his job real well. He's keeping that heavy pin just for that Alpha. Whenever he's diving in, he's just ready with a heavy spin to counter him out. And I think that is really going well for the side of team before you. You can see them already getting all the neutral objective on the map. And again on the top lane, this Shuyu is want to go in aggressive, but I don't think so he has enough damage to burst him down yet. But yes,
Oh, the AOG has been used, but it missed. But Eve is on trouble. The Spear of Alpha onto Eve. The Purify has been popped out. Unbreakable onto Hilda. Hilda is the power of wildness, and the back piece has been used. The real world manipulation and power of wildness onto Chow, and Chow is taken down by Hilda. Both the teams going back home. And that is the end. That's a 1-for-none trade.
Look at the bot lane. Look at the bot lane.
And oh my god, that damage coming in. The heavy spin onto Moscow, and Claude manages to get the kill, and the unbreakable. The Spear of Alpha has been used for its charge, and Akai has been taken down with the mirror image. Claude has escaped like 10% HP.
Oh my god, the aggression coming in from the side of team before you is so heavy, team Rayman's Dragon. They're not able to answer back so quickly. They do want to go in for those engages, but they are not getting that window or the space to do so. This Akai and that Hilda really doing so well, being the front line and zoning the members out from the side of team Rayman's Dragon. They really need to wait for their heroes to come online. This Moscow and
Blazing Blitz coming in, and the AOG had a preemptive Miracle, but the Miracle was not used. That was a waste of resource by Gatot Kacha. But at the same time, I think that was a very good guess, because and actually legendary by CEO onto Moscow.
Absolutely, but again on the mid lane.
This is they're just trying to like engage and disengage, like playing safe. I'm not sure, like that's a good decision, but at the same time, OCO going in, and the Sanctum is not connecting onto anyone. The Void Crystal is zoning them out. The Lord is here, and the prep is going on. Hilda and Akai are zoning in so strong. Charles recalls.
Meko, do you think the Sicilian plus Moscow was a greedy pick for the side of Team Rayman's Dragon? They are not really able to utilize the damage yet.
Completely. I just feel like, oh, a good cheat control, but it was not followed by the way of the dragon. Why was that not done? I just feel like Chow is not being used properly, and like, just look at the KT 041. Like, I just feel like he is not exactly a good fit. Like, although I do understand CEO is the one who like forced them into a Chow pick, but at the same time, it is not being too helpful.
I think he's not confident enough, kicking those members down, because he feels like there is not enough damage to take them down yet, because you can see already the goal lead is just building up. We are just 11 minutes into the game, and it's almost 6k goal lead for the side of team before you. The Lord is marching down the top lane. I think this team Ramon's Dragon will be able to defend this pretty easily, but again on the
The
bot
Void
lane,
Crystal and the Soul Saver onto Gatot Kacha, but that was not a proper engage. But at the same time, look at them, they're just pushing the turrets down in. And the tier 2 turret, oh, this Sanguine Claws onto Sicilian, that is a lot of damage coming in. But
yes
Claw
indeed.
just manages to run away.
I think slowly this Cecilion is gonna hit even more harder. The stacks are coming in for this hero, and after we just reach the 14 or 15 minutes mark, if team Raymond Dragon can hold the game enough, I think they can have a chance for that comeback again on the red buff. I think both the team wants to go in here, but not really confident with the engage yet.
I feel like they are like playing safe and they might be going for the next turkey. And look at that, the zoning coming in. Eve is giving a lot of debuff. The Void Crystal and the Void Blast onto all of the heroes.
Absolutely, the lane pressure as well as the frontline pressure is so much from the side of team before you. You can see team Raymond Dragon, they are playing on the defensive. They are not going in for those rash engages anymore that they were doing in the early minutes of the game after getting punished by that Akai. This Alpha is really being careful not to go in preemptively, and this Xiao really needs to pick up the pace. He wants to get the kicks, on the proper member, but the Purify can be pretty detrimental for him to go in. There is no one to, bait those Purifies from the side of team Rahman's Dragon unless the
Actually, Gatos Kacha is there, but at the same time, I feel like their coordination is really lacking. And there's 20 seconds left for the Lord to spawn into the Land of Dawn.
It's like the Garutkach is not really able to connect those, AOG properly. You can see him trying to go in, but it completely misses out.
Moscow, and Moscow already so low. The Spear of Destruction connects onto CO, but Moscow is recumbent. Sicilian with the Bat Squeeze managed to save Moscow, but the damage coming in, my god. The Soldier almost got a kill onto Moscow who was full HP. But onto the mid lane, we see Hilda having a bit of issues, but look at her HP, the region.
Indeed, and as you can see, the Lord is already getting taken down by the side of team before you. They are looking pretty good. This is the Luminous Lord, the 12-minute Lord, the level 2 Lord, and this is gonna hit hard. I think team, do you think there is enough wave clear for the side of team Ramon's Dragon here? They have the Sicilian, but will it be enough for
Have
them
it because Moscow has a penetrating pole. Like his passive is actually like AoE damage for all the minions, and of course they have Sicilian. Even Alpha has like AoE damages, so they do have some amount of clear, but that also depends because this is a Luminous Lord, and if the lanes are properly stacked and they try to push it with the RWS, that is gonna look like a lot. The Cheat Kundo and the Way of the Dragon, oh my god, AOG has also been used and Hilda has been punished for going in too deep. And the Lord is almost here, and just before the Lord, Hilda has died. The Sanguine Claw, but Lord manages to escape with like this mirror image.
Indeed, but a lot of resources being burned from the side of Team Ramon's Dragon, but they successfully defend that Lord push. I think the game can slowly shift as we are nearing that 15th minute mark. Like I mentioned, the Sicilian is just gonna stack even more further and dealing the damage really hard. As you can see, the Moscow just picked up the Wind of Nature. I think
Nature. Yeah.
it is the power item for him. Onto the bot lane, there is an engage.
Oh, the Fear of Destruction connecting onto Akai, and the Sanguine Claws and the Bat Impact dealing so much damage. One Bat Impact and Claw has been taken down, the Unbreakable onto, my god, Akai has also been taken down, and even the tough situation and the javelins coming in, and legendary by CO. CO dives in to get a kill onto Sicilian, a good play of the Mentocron, and CO will be punished or not. Okay, Chao is really low, and the power of wildness onto Chao, taking him down.
I think that Alpha needed to rotate out there. If he had been in the team fight, they could have gotten that wipeout. And onto the mid lane, Ted QD taking a lot of damage from that. Hilda should back out before he gets too low, and I think that could be it. Neither team, gained too much momentum from that fight. I think it is a stalemate so far. The goal lead is still toward the side of team before you here, and I feel like the next fight could be the deciding factor, in this match.
Very well, it could be. And this is 25 seconds left. Oh, the heavy spin onto 2 people. And Alpha is getting a lot of debuff. Again, the Void Crystal coming in. Sicilian in the fray. And the Blazing Duet has been popped out. AOG as a defensive maneuver and a disengage coming in.
But that is a lot of bait coming in. They won't have that AOG for this next Lord, and I think Team Rayman's Dragon would not want to contest this unless they get a pick off here. The Hilda really being aggressive onto the backline, but look at the damage.
The Brave Unit has been popped out and Moscow gets the kill. The Spear of Misery onto the real world manipulation and my god, the damage coming in from Alpha's Spear and Eve has also been taken down. The Soul Server are okay. Theo manages to escape, but look at the bottom lane. The Blazing Duet has been used and that is a bad decision. Gatot Kacha has been taken out by the turret himself.
I think they do not want to push anymore. You can see the minions stacking the bot lane. They really need to recall fast to clear that down. As you can see, the Lord is marching down the mid lane as well. 3 members getting taken down from the side of Team Before You. They really need to be careful about their positioning. As you can see, the game is already nearing the late game, and this is where the heroes like the Moscow and the Sicilian really shine. But this Lord won't be, utilized too much. As you can see, it is getting taken down so fast here, Meko.
I just said like there's a good lane clear from the Team Rayman's Dragon as well, but there's not enough team fight. Just look at the KDAs and I just feel like it's not going the way it should have gone.
Like with the around this time, most of the heroes have locked down their core items, and I think even the heroes like the Alpha is pretty tanky, and at this point you can't take him down really fast. Even with the heavy spin, you need to get down a lot of HP from that hero, and as you can see, there could
but I think the heavy spin can like pin him down while Claude is the one actually dealing the damage.
But he does have that Winter Crown to counter that Blazing Duet, so it really comes down to the timing for these heroes to use their skills. But with the wave pressure coming in from the side of Team Before You can see Team Rayman's Dragon really struggling to clear those waves down. They want to take the engage, but the waves can be, there could be a potential backdoor from the plot.
On to Chao, and look at the damage coming in from CEO. CEO is actually flaunting a KD of 903, 0 deaths. Now that is impressive. Like I just said that they had actually been forced to pick Chao for the CEO to mark him down, and as I said, he is not doing a good job because 0 deaths onto the hero you just were picked to counter.
Yes, like the hero is so mobile. Even a hero like Chow cannot, mark him down very easily. With the front line like Hilda along with Akai, it is really, really difficult for him to go in for those plays. And you can see the next Lord will spawn in about 30 seconds, and this is gonna be the evolved Lord, and a lot of HP on that Lord. So well, I think both the team would want to contest for this, but again on the bot lane there is a lot of movements coming in from both the teams. I think so they would not want to take an engage right now. They might wait for the Lord before they want to go for that fight.
That is a wise decision because whichever teams loses this fight is gonna have to pay, and the price is gonna be the free Lord to the other team. Look at that, the Lord is evolved, and both the teams are gonna be making their ways towards the Lord. Alpha checking the bush with his rotary impact. Now that is a wise decision, but at the same time, yeah,
this show really needs to open up the map, give the information towards his team, and that can only give them the favorable fight that they're looking for. But as you can see, the Hilda wants to open up the map.
4 people.
Yes, but again on the bot
Hilda is doing a better job.
The Hilda has a lot of mobility, with the first skill she can just go in, and once she sees that there's a lot of damage.
Are you saying that Chao does not have... Oh, look at that. The unbreakable onto Hilda and the spears, javelins coming in consecutively. The spear of destruction has been used and the real world manipulation is in place. Heavy spin onto Alpha, but Alpha will manage to take down Akai. And a shutdown onto CEO. Double kill. Moscow is on a roll.
Oh, the Sanguine Claws connecting there, and with that kill will go to the side of Team Rayman's Dragon. They can very well end the game here, Shimeko.
I just feel like they can, but the minions are actually missing. Look at that, they are coming, but Akai and Okay, is still the Simon Pearl. And finally, the Bay of the Dragon is in play. The power of violence looking strong, but the fear of Alpha getting a kill onto Hilda.
And that is a complete team wipeout. I think this game will go to the side of Team Rayman's Dragon, taking the first dub in this best of 3 series, leading it with a score of 1-0. So
Victory!
I think this calls for an analyzing here, Meko.
As I said, like the composition of the Raman's Dragon was better by the draft because even with all the mobilities and all the things, like if Chow and all, like if they had a bit more synergy which they had at the last moment, like Chow is really hesitant to kick people, like the dive in the opening of the map. But at the same time, the moment he actually dived in, like he dived inside the inhibitor turret and used his way of the dragon, and even Akai was melted down. So if he was actually doing this a bit beforehand and like instead of being so scared, I feel like that would have been so much easier for the blue red team.
I think the early game was really hard for the side of Team Rayman's Dragon. The both the late game hero, the mid lane combination was not really going too well. The Chow along with that Sicilian cannot deal so much damage. That Sicilian really need those stacks, and in the early game, the bat
While I
impacts
do
don't deal
agree
so
with
damage.
that, but in the mid game itself, like Sicilian has enough damage at least to burst down a mage or marksman or even CO. Like he's an assassin, he is kind of squishy. So I just feel
But
like Chow's damage as a fighter and the
mhm.
Sicilian's damage like should have sufficed if not Alpha was also there. But they were just playing a really safe or like a bit as a scaredy cat, and I think that was a bit of a mistake from their part.
I think they were playing for the power spike for those heroes. They really did not want to take those unnecessary engages, but again they fell for the tempo of the side of team. Before you could see that Shuyo really dealing so good in the early damage, as well as that Akai really on point with the heavy spin, really favor the side of team before you to win those fights. And even the Claude's early game rotation faster than that Moscow was something that
Yes,
you know
exactly. But the heavy spin is often a disengage, and that is used when you are being engaged on. So the point is, every time the heavy spin was being used onto Alpha, because Alpha was the one who was initiating. But my point is, like, Alpha should not have been the one to initiate. He was the one to finish it. So the initiator should have been Chow, and the finisher should have been Alpha. So if Chow is the one going in and Chow used his way of the dragon or something and baited out the heavy spin, so even if the heavy spin was used to deflect Chow, then Alpha could have a window to jump in as well as being followed up by Sicilian. But that was not the case. So Alpha jumped in first and he was countered by the heavy spin. And Chow just managed to go back to safety with his mobility. So that kind of understanding should be there about the division of labor, the roles of the initiates, the backups, the engages and disengages, the follow-ups, like when and why and who should do what.
That is true. That is true. That was the factor that really gave them the early game disadvantage. Team Reman's Dragon, they wanted to go for that engage, but the pieces of the puzzles were not falling in the right places for them. They wanted to, take the engage, but they were confused who should go first and who should go next. And that moment of hesitation is what Team Before You really utilized in the early game, and that really worked well from them. And they could have ended the game if they got in the better fights, but from the mid lane, like for the mid to late game, was the point where those fights were hugely favoring the side of Team Reman's Dragon, and that really gave them the window for them to farm a lot more for those items, the power spike items. Even though Wind of Nature was something that Moscow really needed to counter that Claude's damage along with the Hilda. So I think once he got that item, power spike, he was really more confident going inside those team fights, and that was the game changer moment for the side of Team Reman's Dragon.
Understandable. Well, let's see this time because I feel like a few of the heroes might be targeted this time. What do you feel? Like we are finally on to the second round, and this is best of three. So, do you think this is going to be a clean sweep for Raman's Dragon, or do you think that before you is going to tie up the score to drag this on to the third match?
I mean, there's a very good chance before you can, get a comeback this game, because they have that early game rotation pretty well. They have figured out how to play around those heroes, and they're the way they play their heroes, like who needs to go first, who needs to take the damage, and who needs to go for those finishing blow, is really well combined. And I feel if they can play for that, for the at least for the early game, they can go for that early close of the game, because as you can see, Team Rayman's Dragon really like to go for that late game kind of gameplay. And if the early game punish is too high from the side of team before you, they can go for that easy early game end. But however, they need to also secure a good hero for that late game as well. The Claude was there, but it was not really enough. As you can see, the late game, the Claude was not able to get those game changing ultimates, and the Claude kind of fell off somewhere. And even the mage, like the Eve, is a if once she ults, she's just stuck in one place, and they had was the heavy spin. And once it was used, that it was really easy for them to mark the Eve with even with the Moscow's ultimate, the Spear of Destruction, because she's immobile once she uses that ult. And I think if they have a mage who can reposition herself a little bit more and also have that late game potential, I think it can really work well for the side of team before you here.
Yes. Like, although the MVP was given to Moscow, I just feel Moscow is not really that ban worthy, so we might be seeing a Sicilian ban this time.
Absolutely, that could be the case here. They can ban the Sicilian, denying that late game, damage to the side of team Rayman's Dragon. As you can see, Devil is really, really fond of that hero. I think it is one of his comfort picks so far in this most tournaments. But I think another hero that is ban worthy could be that Gatut Kacha. They can deny that hero in the second phase of the drafting if team Rayman's Dragon don't go
Yes.
for that pick, because that is a
Num-
lot of dive on the backline.
Well, we are gonna see the all the new strategies soon enough, guys. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned, and we will be back right with the next matchup.
Our determination will never be extinguished! Our cosmic blaze will never be extinguished!
And what did I tell you guys? We are gonna be back, and we are back, guys. So this time it is gonna be Rayman's Dragon on blue team, whereas before you on the red team. So we are back with the ban phase, and what do you think, Shin? What is gonna be the first ban?
I think team Rayman's Dragon, they would want to ban. I think the Matilda here, because they wouldn't go for that as a first pick, and they can deny that pick here. But even the chip is ban worthy. But so far it can be a mage as well. So there are a lot of possibilities, but they will go with the Phobius ban so far. I think that's a good ban. That is a lot of annoying jump. I will say, that basketball NBA player should not be on the map. And
Yes,
so
completely. The infernal pursuit can be so annoying. But at the same time, I completely agree with you. I feel like Matilda, Hilda, Lanche, like all of these are very ban-worthy bans, and they definitely deserve the ban zone. So I think the red team might be denying a few of those heroes to the blue team.
that is true. That is true. I think they might want to ban that chip here, because that is a lot of early
Sir,
game
what's your
presence, but
command?
they
Your
will instead go
team
for
is
the Fanny
banning.
ban. I feel, you know, the first pick, the blue side, they have the advantage to pick one hero, whereas the red side, they can take two heroes.
Butterflies
And
Your
born
if they
by
team
want to
is
trade
vibration,
banning.
something,
guided by
that could also
lantern's
work for the
light.
side of team, before you. They can take two good heroes for their side. They can take the Garud Kacha this time around, because they have that, advantage of getting two heroes instead of one. So there can be a trade in this banning
Who
phase,
said there
but
are
the
no
chip will get
shortcuts in
banned
life?
eventually along with the
I
Zushin.
literally invented one.
Now, I just feel like Chip is a really good ban because he can be a real bad game changer with his Avengers Assemble. But where is Matilda? Where is Hilda?
Oh yes, one hero that could be banned is the Hilda actually. That hero was really an annoying presence for the side of team, you know, Rayman's Dragon. If they want to
Yeah,
go for that assassin pick, they can ban that hero out this time around.
I just feel like Matilda and Hilda, both of them in this current
The
patch
Immortal
are
One
ban
chose me to
worthy.
Your
vanquish
But
the
look
team
at
is
shadows
that, they
that
banning.
are
plague
actually
this
going for a
world.
CO ban. And last match, I feel like CO completely deserves this because they just saw that
Your
CO
team
has
is
a lot of
banning.
potential in the enemy team. I love that a targeted ban onto Grok.
Always on the way.
Your team
But
is
that will
picking.
open up the Mathilda, the second Avenger Assemble hero, and it will go to the side of Team Rayman Dragon. I think Team.
But I feel like they are gonna trade it up with Hilda.
Yes, they can take the Hilda and the Garud Kacha combination here. That is the good heroes to have, but there are a lot of heroes that are open as well. If they want to secure that first pick jungler, they can steal the alpha away here. That is the next best hero to have after that Shuyo and that Fanny. But what
Okay.
is gonna be picked here is the question. And there comes the Garud Kacha, but the Hylos pick
Is picking.
surprised me a bit because they do have the alpha open, and there you go.
Now this is a really, really deadly combo because Alpha with Matilda is such a bang right now. Like Alpha can just go in without any
Your
worries
team is
about commitment.
picking.
And if he has any commitment issues, he's just gonna use a guiding wind and get back to safety with Matilda.
Yes, another good combination that Matilda can give is the Bruno. The repositioning that he can do in those team fights. He can go to the back line completely with that alpha. I mean, with the Matilda's guiding wind and the circling eagle, and he can mark down those squishy heroes really fast. And if there is enough dive, right now, team Rayman's Dragon, they really need somebody to frontline the damage for them, like a good EXP lane or something, that can sustain a lot and even like zone the heroes out.
Your team
So
is banned.
that kind of hero could be pretty useful for the side of team Rayman's Dragon here. But to answer back that Bruno pick, there is the Clint. How do you feel about that matchup, Bruno versus the Clint?
I think that is a good decision, but right now they should be prioritizing on the banning like Khalid and Edith maybe. Because yes, Aziz okay and
Your
Sicilian.
team is
This is
banned.
something I expected from the last match that Sicilian will get banned, but right now I feel like they have just more pressing matters at their hands other than the Sicilian. But
How do you,
okay, fine, let's just see.
Meko, how do you feel about EXP Xbox here? That could be a good hero to pick. A lot of true damage as well.
For which team? Like although Xbox can counter up like Gatot Kacha and Hylos because they are like HP heroes or defensive heroes, but at the same time Xbox cannot really frontline, which the blue team actually needs. So I would say that is not a good pick because in case of damage, Alpha already has a lot of true damage in the form of Beta, and volley
Mhm.
shots coming in from Bruno are no joke. So a mage, a good DPS mage who will have a constant burn and a good sustained EXP is what is actually missing in this draft.
Yes, I think they can go for the Lilia pick here because that is a lot of burn as well as a lot of DPS,
Your
continuous
team
DPS,
is
and
banning.
a lot of mage bans coming in from both the teams. You can see, like you mentioned, the Sicilian is getting banned this time around from the side of Team Before You, as well as the Eve getting banned from the side of Team Rayman's Dragon. I think both the teams do not want to play against those heroes. And another hero that will get banned is the Valentina, so no more stealing ultis here.
Mm, that is a wise decision because they don't want the AOG to be stolen. But at the same time, I feel like are they planning to pick something else which can have their ultimate stolen?
A powerful mage maybe that can be
Your
stolen,
team
but
is
here they
picking.
are banning out that Aurora. I think that is a pretty good countermeasure, but that will leave out the Vexana open. Team Before You will take the chance and pick that hero. So I think what is the next best hero to have? But okay, there comes the Xavier. We don't get to see that hero very often. And to answer back, what could be the roamer here, you think?
I feel like Matilda should be the roamer. Okay.
Okay, I was feeling like, are there two roamers on the team of side, for the side of team Rayman's Dragon here? But yes, the Parrots could be a good pick, but I don't think so. It would be enough for the side of team Rayman's Dragon. They want somebody to dive in to give the engage,
I feel
so the
like
alpha.
Tesla might have been better because Tesla can frontline and also with his penalty zone he can lock on to Vexana and okay,
Wipe
this
out
is
all
a
the
really
injustice in the
questionable pick
world.
for me right now because they just love Chow a lot. I'm just seeing like someone or the other has to play Chow somehow. But at the same time, I'm not really sure if I like the Chow pick again this time.
I think the Cho pick is again a, I wouldn't say a comfort pick, but I don't see the much value out of that pick because there is so much CC for the side of team. You know, before you, the Dawn from the Garut Kacha, the first kill from this Hylos, also that deadly grabs from this Vexana could be pretty difficult to, go in for that show. Yes, he does have the Shumpo, but it cannot, negate all those CCs because he can just dash once and after that he's pretty vulnerable. Like the G Kundo can close in the gap, but that is it. After like he's down those dashes, he can be really heavily punished.
Time
But
to
to
drop the
round
beat
up
of
the
the
draft for the
crunch.
side of team before you, they will pick the CC here. I don't think there is enough CC to counter that. Sorry, not the CC, the Joy. I'm sorry, guys. So I feel there is not enough CC to counter the Joy out for the side of team. Rahman's Dragon, what do you feel about that?
I feel like Xavier should have been enough as immobilized, and his infinite extension is good enough. And Matilda can actually help them to reposition themselves. So again, I am not really liking Zhao in this lineup again, but at the same time, if he's playing well, like if he's camping a bit and initiating, like just baiting out those flickers and purify, then that could also be really good.
Yes, that is true. Let's see how will this show play out for the side of team Rahman's Dragon. But with the game already rolling in, this is the second match between
Welcome to
team
MOBA
Rahman's
Legends.
Dragon on the blue side and team before you
5
on the red
seconds till the
side. Team
enemy
Rahman's
reaches the
Dragon are already
battlefield.
leading this best of
Smash
3
them.
series with a score of 1-0 and with the land
Explosive
of
deployed.
Dawn. Already reaching the land of Dawn. Meko, take it away.
Well, we are seeing a very unusual way. Like Alpha is actually at his blue buff, while I feel like this is going to be a bot lane gank from him. And Joy's at the blue buff as well, so that's going to be a top lane gank. That is a gold lane gank from Joy.
I think ganking the gold lane early in the minute is pretty beneficial because you can deny that early game farm, whereas the EXP lane does not matter too much. Once those hero reaches that level 4, they just wants to go in with those, game-changing ultimates. You can see a little bit poke coming in from both the teams, but I don't think so that will translate into too much. But again, the child wants to dive in, but I think there is no follow for him.
Yes, I just don't see the point of ganking a Hylos up in the early.
That's true. I think they want to just farm for so far. As you can see, they are trying to clear the jungle creep for this alpha here.
Yes, but
Almost
at the
going to
same
reach
time,
4.
look at the top lane. But Joy is still level 3.
You can see the Clint is already denying a lot of minions to that Bruno, already trying to get a better position for this team fight. Both the teams are slowly rotating on the top lane, but yes, look at the Xavier's poke coming in.
Oh, the Spear of Alpha already being used up onto Gatot Kacha, but both of them just back off.
Yes, but look at this ambush position from this show. He wants to get that pick off. I think he does not have we have the dragon yet, but he's going with a June 4. I mean the G Kundo, but not enough. You can see the alpha going in.
The Spear of Dragon going. Oh my god, the Spear of Alpha connecting on, but again, there is no commitment. And Chow is really low. The Way of the Dragon is yet to be obtained.
Yes, but the Hylos has not reached the level 4 yet. You can see Joy going in, but won't be able to steal a turtle. I think there will be a fight here.
Again, another. The Spear of Alpha has a really low cooldown, and the Way of the Dragon onto Gatot Kacha, and a double kill. Oh my god. Sorry, not a double kill, but yeah, the second kill by the blue team. So that was a 2 for
Indeed.
none trade.
I think they can go for a potential invade. The retribution is still on cooldown for both the heroes, but it will be back up soon. As you can see, the Alpha and the Mathilda trying to take that blue away, but I think they won't be able to do so. Oh, but he does seal it. I mean, that is a good retribution coming in from Mermaid. I feel, I felt like the Joy could have secured that, but yes, again, that Alpha did have that level advantage again. On the top lane, we need to talk about this matchup again. We can see the Bruno not doing so bad, as well as the Clint still able to poke him down, but again,
This
on the
is
mid
gonna
lane
be
fight,
bad once Bruno gets a Malefic gun because he's gonna have some extra range. And a double the flicker has also been used up and Bruno manages to win. While on the other hand, a double kill has been secured by Alpha. The scoreboard is 5-0 and a mega kill. Oh my god, the shutdown, that was a bit greedy, but still he did get the mega kill. And the
Oh,
guiding wind guiding Xavier back to safety. What do you feel about this, Shin?
I didn't get your question. Could you please just recall the question once so I can answer your queries
So
here, Miko?
Alpha just got a mega kill, but he was a bit greedy. He dived into the turret. He did get a mega kill, but gave the shutdown as well. So was that a good decision to get a mega kill in exchange for a shutdown? Oh, but the glowing pathway has been used, and again, that was a bit too greedy. The glorious pathway onto the turret, and he was locked down and he was taken down as well. Matilda with the circling eagle and soul bloom onto Clint. But
that wouldn't be a good decision. The Alpha 1 is going in. But there goes the fight.
Sure, what these people are up to. Like everyone is diving into the turrets and like getting killed. That was a good save. The law and order actually stopped the way of the dragon. So Dead Kitty's way of the dragon was stopped by Hylos, and that was a good clutch coming in. The glorious pathway has been used, Deathly Grasp onto no one.
Indeed. Back to your question, Miko, the question you just asked me a while ago, the kill, was it really necessary for that Alpha to dive in? I don't think so. The bounty goal did go to the side of team. Before you, they get back some amount of the gold, but I think they will lose that top lane turret. As you can see, a lot of zoning in coming in already, but onto the bot lane, the Joy is stealing that red buff away from this Alpha. I think that is a good cross map play for him to get that farm back on his side. But again, on the mid lane, there is a lot of pressure.
They are gonna lose the tier 1 turret on the mid lane. Oh, a good spear of Alpha coming in onto 3 people. The glorious pathway has been derailed. The dragon onto Vexana, and Vexana has been taken down. The ring of fun. Ooh, the rotary impact gets a kill onto Hylos as well.
Yes, two members already getting taken down. I think the next to fall would be that mid lane in mid and first tier turret. I think there are not enough members to clear down the minion, but again on the bot lane, Bruno does trade that first tier turret on there as well. I think team Rayman's Dragon are really playing well for their objective so far. You can see we are just 6 minutes into the game, and they have taken down most of the first tier turrets, and they're eyeing on to the second tier turret. But the kick connect
on to Katakacha. The glorious pathway has been used to make off punishment coming in strong. Ooh, the infinite suspension. The spear of Alpha on to Katakacha, and Katakacha has been taken down. The circle eagle on to Joy, and Joy has been taken down by Matilda. Bruno gets a kill on to Vexana.
Indeed, that is a fight going totally in the favor of Team Rayman's Dragon. 4 members for nobody. Despite being so low, they were still able to play it out for their side. As you can see, the Clint is all they have to defend that middle lane turret right now. The turtle is being walked on. Yes.
And the turtle goes to the blue team. I just feel like it would have been easier for them to just go for the Lord instead of the turtle. And then we see a good zoning the law and order onto Matilda. And the Way of the Dragon, the Way of the Dragon has been popped up on Joy, and Joy is taken down. AOG onto no one, and he has been taken down by Bruno. The Spear of Alpha onto 2 people, and mega kill. The Dawning Light connects onto Vexana, and a double kill by Bruno. It's a complete wipe out.
Yes, with the Bruno being so farmed, along with that Alpha really having a better game this time around, you can see the pressure really building up for the side of team. Before you, they are not really able to answer back the aggression with their own aggression, and they are losing the turrets left and right. We are just 7 minutes, almost 8 minutes into the game, and they have already lost the second tier turret onto the top lane, and they might lose another turret on the mid lane.
The Chow is actually playing a lot more aggressively this time, and Matilda is pretty low, and Matilda has been taken down. There's Law and Order coming in, and the Ring of Punishment. That's a lot of damage coming in from the double draw. The quick draw and double shot of Clint. Shut down. Bruno just went in too deep. AOG onto Bruno. The quick draw onto Alpha.
Yes, they're still going at it though.
for the winter crown used by Alpha and the spear of Alpha, but the curse blast will be taking him down. A lot of damage coming in from Vexana as well. Clint and Vexana chasing onto the people, but the red buff will be secured at least. Joy is here.
Yes.
Oh, the dawning light. There's a constant dawning light rain shower coming in from Xavier.
Indeed, I'm still surprised he does not have the temporal rain, and despite that, he's able to use that dawning lights continuously, and that really says how strong that hero is. The cooldown is really, really short on that, on the skills. Again, you can see the Lord has spawned. This is the level 1 Lord, and I think with the pressure being already so insane from the side of team Raymon's Dragon team before you, they would not want to contest for this.
I feel like they cannot contest for this, but at the same time, just look at Chow. He's going all in. Like, there's a lot of aggression coming in, just like Hilda, which we had seen.
Yes, this time the Chow is being used by Dead
Look at
QT,
that!
but he.
And the Way of the Dragon on to Clint. The Circling Eagle has been used, the Glorious Pathway has also been used, but they will be punished for going into the AOG on to Alpha. The Unbreakable as a defensive maneuver. The volley shots coming in strong, and Gatas Kacha has been taken down. The full swing looking good on by Alpha.
That was a bit too overzealous from the Kacha to go in on by himself. There was no reinforcement for him to win that fight. Again, you can see that was a free kill to the side of Team Reman's Dragon, and they are working with a lot on the mid lane. I feel like they can get that inhibited turret here. The holy defense is already down, and you can see the damage being placed there.
If the marksman actually locked onto the turret, but look at that, they are actually defending it very nicely. Xavier dealing a lot of damage, and look at that KDA 7012, and the force swing dealing so much damage. Gatas Kacha has been taken down. The true damage coming in from rotary impact and force swing are no joke.
Yes,
The
without tank, it is
Eagle onto Vexana, but the Rejuvenate hasn't popped up, but Hilo still goes down. The Way of the Dragon onto Vexana, but Charles manages to come back 1 HP, but there was a follow-up. Vexana saves the volley shot, looking strong onto Vexana, and a killing spree by Alpha. AOG onto no one, and the double shots coming in from Clint, but again, the volley shots were enough to burst the crystal. So, Bruno just decided suddenly to go for the kills, and then he was like, okay, I just had enough kills because Alpha just stole 2 of my kills. So now I'm just gonna focus on the turret. And he just busted the turret.
I think that was a wise decision. They really need to go for the dinner as well because it's already so late for them. And yes, they wanted to go for that early dinner. It seems the aggression coming in from the side of Team Reman's Dragon was totally different this time around. They played for that early game so well, totally different from what
Yes.
it was from the last game. And they were able to utilize that alpha's damage really from the starting and from the get going. So this time around things did not fall in place for the side of team before you. They could not sustain the damage, and like I mentioned, giving that alpha was really not a good choice. With 2 tanky frontline, that is a lot of true damage, and you
And
instantly get
last
fell
time,
down.
every time, it was Alpha doing the initiations, but this time with Matilda as a backup, they were really secure. At the same time, there was a lot of aggression coming in from Chow as well. So, see,
Mhm.
Chow actually has lesser damage than Matilda. Like, Matilda has 9%, where Chow has 6%. And as I said, I was still not liking Chow as, I just feel like Khalid or Hilda could have done the same amount of aggression and the zoning and stuff. Because Chow is the only one with a silver medal as compared to everyone else with a gold medal. But at the same time, they literally worked out the synergy. So I just feel like this time as well, that's more of a comfort pick. But at this, as long as you can work out that comfort pick in the proper lineup as a good synergy, it just works out well like this.
I think the Cho was just picked to counter that, Clint there because there was nobody to go in for that back line, the back line. So the Cho with the G Kundo and the Way of the Dragon can really lock him down really well, and the rest of the member can collapse with the insane magic damage coming in from Devil. It was, pretty easy for them to immobilize the heroes, the front line at least, and with the Circling Eagle, the Matilda could go for the backline as well, and they can deal enough damage for that Bruno to at least back off or leave that fight, and that could be the window for team Rahman's Dragon to win those initiations and win those team fights. And that what happened. The zone was so high for that Bruno. You can, I mean, for that Clint, you can see he dealt 37% damage, but it is just so less because that was not even the rest of the members there in the team fight, and he could only deal the damage in the late game, whereas the early game was not really working in his favor.
Completely. So guys, this is it, and Team Treman's Dragon will be moving on. Well, don't worry, guys. We will be back with much more exciting matches after a short break. Oh, well, guess what, Shin? We are actually done for the day. But of course, it's not like it's the end of the tournament. So we are going to be back with much more exciting matches, not today, but tomorrow itself. So, guys, subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for all the interesting matches which we're going to cook up tomorrow onwards. So, this is me, Mako Gaming, signing off.
And this is Mission Ryu signing off with her as well. And don't forget to catch the action tomorrow, guys. So with that, we wish you a very good night. And this is it from us. I guess right, Meko?
Yes, guys, but we will be back again tomorrow. So, see ya.